Hello, everyone. Whoa, you could have just, if I had a cat, run over my cat with a car, and I would be in a good mood after hearing that song. I might get a cat just to test the theory. Kidding, everyone. Sorry. I just love that music. That is fantastic. My first officer is the greatest. That opening is just pumps me up every time.
I love you very much. I'm so happy that you're pleased with it.
Oh, you were the best. Everyone. Thank you so much. Get ready, everyone, for some Saturday night trekking.
Clobbering tracks.
Some clobbering, some trekkerballoon or clobber trail. We'll figure that out. Welcome. And before we get started and saying our hellos to our magnificent chat, of course, everyone, I must introduce my magnificent, fantastic, the greatest first officer in all of Starfleet history, the extraordinary, wonderful, beautiful, magnificent, and I said magnificent 3 or 4 times already, but why not one more time? Magnificent. There we go. Raquel Briggs, thank you for being here.
I love you. Thank you for having me. It is such a pleasure to be here. And, I love your company so much. And thank you for creating this wonderful space for all of us to come and talk about 66 to 05 Star Trek. You are the best damn captain in Starfleet, and I adore you. Clubbing!
You are the best. You're the one. They're here for you, not me. And I want to tell you what a great time we have in store for you all tonight, my good friends. Where are we? Okay. Well, I think so far I've got a basic idea of who is here, and we're going to say some hellos to our dear friends who have already popped into the chat, and we'll say hello as the night goes on to anyone else who pops in. And then after we do that, we'll take care of some shout outs and get a rolling. We will go straight to warp speed. But first, of course, a big hello and a big shout out to all of you in that chat. The great Lord Thoth.
LT!
Yo, buddy. Appreciate you, man, as always. The extraordinary Phantom Outsider. What's up, buddy?
What a name. What a cool name. That name never gets old. Welcome, Phantom.
Great name, Phantom Outsider, as always. It always does my heart good to see this wonderful young lady here. I love you, Katie Carr. We love you, the great Katie Carr. Hello there, Katie.
Love you. Hope you had a good week.
Indeed. The great, long time, fantastic buddy of mine, and I'm always just great and just happy to see him here. Steve Mitchum, yo, brother. Good to see you, bud.
Make sure you keep the volume down really low.
Oh,
don't wake Maddie up, Steve. Do not wake Maddie up.
Keep it down there, man. Keep that volume down for sure. The great RN Feliciano, Raymond, one of the many distinguished members of the Global Geek Gang. Raymond, I don't know if Sandra is here, but either way, hello to Sandra.
Yes. Hello to the great Felicianos. Sandra. Love you guys so much. So happy to see you both.
Indeed. So, hail Sandra. If and let's see here. Oh, sorry, I'm all over the place here. My great buddy Pat S. Hey, man, and by the way, I got your email and I finally responded to it. Thank you for those pics. The great Pat S. fellow Louisianian.
Yes.
It is good to see you, my buddy.
Great company, heck of a funny guy. I've had the pleasure of his company on a couple of streams now. A hysterical person. Wonderful to be around. So happy you're here, Pat.
Indeed, buddy. Good to see you, man. Master of all that is wrench, the great Eric K. What's up, buddy?
I love you. Thank you for everything that you do for us here.
Indeedishness, man. Good to see you, brother. We always appreciate you, bud. A fantastic friend of the show, fellow member of the Global Geek Gang, of course, and a member of new member of the great pop culture archivist group, the incomparable Mark D with a C.
Yes,
hey, buddy.
Mark D with a C.
The man. New friend who's popped in a few times, and I popped in on his streams. My new friend J-Man. J-Man, good to see you, buddy. He has a great channel over there.
Wonderful.
And I'm glad to see you here, J-Man. And please, by the way, if I can find a link, I'll put that. I'll try to put up a link later, buddy, to your channel, because I don't think I have one in my description yet. I meant to put one, but please try to find J-Man's channel. I'll try to find a link for that when I can, my friend. And I appreciate you being here.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see here. D-Bud Martin, another new friend.
Oh,
Great to see you, sir. D-Bud Martin, fellow comic shop owner. So always a pleasure.
Yeah. The fellow comic shop owner guy.
Indeed.
I remember that guy. I'm so happy that you're back. That's so cool that you're here again.
Good to see you, D-Bud. The great J.T. Kirk.
Yes. So good to see you.
Kirk. I love that one. Snorta Poopas Cuber. Who's a good man?
Snorta Poopas! Cuber.
Liger fan, my friend. Great to see you.
Good to see you, Liger.
Now I have to clear my throat for this next one because he deserves a song. So he's probably getting sick of it. We'll do it anyway, though. And they call him Scuba Pete. He's the king of the rubber beat. Scuba Pete.
Scuba Pete! I love you.
To give us better than that. The Catman. D.D. Myers. What's up,
D.D.
bud?
Myers is here. That's great.
Hey, man. Good to see you, my friend. Let's see here. Make sure we're getting everybody. The great Rod Thunderheart is here.
Oh, it's so good to see you, Rod. It's nice to see you. We missed you last week.
Hey, buddy. Good to see you, Rod. Always good to see the great Rod Thunderheart. Let's see here. Just another red shirt, my buddy.
Oh, great.
Good to see you, bud.
You know, there's so much stuff going on with StreamYard. StreamYard. I don't know if it's singular or plural, but, you know, most of the time I can't even see half these people on this side on my chat.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
It's really annoying.
You know, it is I do know because I've been guest in many streams, as you have. It is always tougher to see as from that because it is a very different view than I have. Your view, because I have this view, it is very different. No question about it. Claude Parrish, aka Minimus Prime, is here.
Oh, good.
Well, I don't know how good it is, but he is here. I'm sorry.
I'm so happy to see you, Claude.
Well, I can't be nice to him, but you can. It just doesn't work for me. Now he's going to say something mean. Watch. He's going to be mean to me. Oh, no.
I'll protect you.
Well, thank you. I have a first officer protection here. Dad man walking with the scariest avatar on YouTube. Dude,
that thing is scary.
I love it.
Yeah, that thing that looks like it's from Fantasy Island. That thing is terrifying.
It's actually from one of the scariest. I don't like horror movies much anyway, but this was a TV movie from the 70s because he used to make TV movies called Trilogy of Terror with Karen Black in it, and it's this little voodoo doll dude there. And that thing, and I think I talked about it one night with Dad Man Walking. That thing scared the crap out of me. I hate anything where dolls are killing people.
That's a hard pass for me. That is a hard pass for me. I don't like that. That's just way too creepy. And I'm not even afraid of the doll thing. You know, I used to watch That's Incredible when I was young. Do you remember That's Incredible Yeah, and they always had the creepy doll stories on That's Incredible. So the creepy doll stories don't get me, but that particular wood puppet that's on his avatar, that thing is creepier than creep.
Well, yeah, it's Night Gallery had a very scary one years before that when I was very young. I guess that's when it messed me up, probably. So then, So everyone, so before we get rolling here, show note. This Monday night, the great Ace Cast on him. If he can make it, I hope he's going to make my great friend Ace Cast on. And I hope he will pop in earlier. And I think he's going to make it. We're going to review the Amazon series that just concluded first season of Invincible.
What?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Okay, everybody, you need to share this out. Did you make a poster for that, Clubby?
No, I'm gonna make one. It's gonna be very spoilery. We're gonna give all the spoilers. So by then we figure that'll give it dropped last night, yesterday or whatever, Thursday, so we figured that it gives everyone time to have watched it. The great Chris Persia's here.
Chris is here. Chris, mwah, mwah. Nice to see you.
Good to see you, buddy. Parrot Head.
Parrothead! Oh,
You
so
think?
I'm so happy you stopped in. Yeah, Clobby, that is going to be an insanely, insanely popular show, especially because you're such a great tastemaker. You're like a really, really, really talented chef, and you are the great librarian, the great curator of all of geekdom. So I know everyone is going to be keenly interested to hear what you have to say about Invincible. So wow, you got to get that poster out, and I will definitely start letting everyone I
Oh,
know that you're
thanks.
going to be doing that. That is so exciting, and I'm so happy you're doing it.
Well, thank you so much. But I don't. It was amazing, but I don't want any. I don't want to be responsible for anyone watching that show that doesn't know what they're getting into, because that latest one, oh, jeez. Uh, Last Monday night, I did a show about one of my all-time favorite cartoon, Batman the Brave and the Bold, which I love it. And it's
Yeah.
so fun and so pure and so innocent. It almost seems obscene that a week later, something to do with the similar subject matter with superheroes that I'm going to be watching is so, it's good, but it is so sick and disturbing in so many ways. But we'll
Yeah.
get to that Monday night.
I cannot wait. Of course, I'm going to tune in and hear what you have to say, because as I've told you on the Global Geek Gang, the great amazing Global Geek Gang, just the best bunch of nerds on the and geeks on the internet. I've heard you talking about it, but the thing is I can't watch it because I'm a little bit, well, not a little bit. I'm a lot against the gore. I
Oh,
just can't do it.
no,
Like I
you're
just
better off. Don't.
but I also want to get out and support this great IP because I'm hearing so many wonderful things about it, and all of the people who have really been crying out for some quality entertainment are giving this really, really big thumbs up. So I'm excited. I will definitely be there on Monday, and I cannot wait to hear what you have to say
Oh,
about it
thank you.
and to just celebrate something that's finally good that people are really super stoked on.
Yeah, it's again, I do like it, and it's very different from the comic as it adapting, but they're not in a bad way so far. And I like the first season overall, and we're gonna go over it if he hopefully with the great Ace Cashine, the gentleman who got me to read the comic in the first place almost 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So, guess who's here?
I just saw the doctor. The doctor is in.
All right, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, folks. My favorite name on all of YouTube, I love Phantom Outsider's name. It's a great one, but my favorite one is this one. Get ready, cover your ears. Dr. Hercule Monkey. And now everyone said the hell with this stream and it's just taken off. Sorry.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Doctor. Somebody call me a doctor. The doctor's in the house.
At least I didn't mess with Parrothead again and talk about how he's wasting away again in Margaritaville.
I don't think Parrothead minds.
He's got to be getting sick of that. But it's good to see you, Parrothead. Now, Mark D with a C, before we get started, Mark D with a C has asked me, is this link in the chat, sir? Has asked me, I don't know anything about this, but Mark D with the C asked you to do it, you do it.
Yes.
Because he's a valued pal here. Let's see. It is if you could give this a shout out, donate to Purple Stride today and trek against pancreatic cancer. Absolutely, a wonderful cause. It sounds like to me. I don't know much about it, but I is first hearing about it from my good buddy Mark D with a C, but I trust him, and he did. I believe he put a link. If you did, continue to put that. Whenever you feel like doing that, Mark, and remind me again later after toward the end of the show if you're still here, brother.
That's Armin Shimmerman, I think.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, just
I think that's his charity, or he.
Oh, really?
He's spearheading it, or
okay.
I'm not too sure on the details. You'd have to ask Mark D.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure that he's spearheading that. That's his idea. That's his baby, and he's getting everyone around the fire. So.
Okay. Well, just remind me of that every so often or toward the end of the show. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. time to introduce Clobby to more Buffett. The buffet, I would love so. Oh, you mean the singer? I thought you meant we were going to get something to eat. Yeah. Hey, look, I know Cheeseburger in Paradise. That's Buffett.
Did you hear up a little bit further up in the chat? I did manage to see that Steve snagged a job, and I think he's serious about that. And I'll tell you something, man. It has been very difficult for people to get their jobs back during COVID and post-COVID. So a huge congratulations to our dear friend Steve Mitchum.
Yes.
So happy that you got a job. I'm so very happy for you, and congratulations, my wonderful friend.
Congrats, buddy. Glad to hear it, bro. Absoluteness. Well, Ash is here. Ash, what's up, brother?
Did you see what he put?
No.
Release the Ash cut.
So funny. Oh, my goodness. Oh, what was our? You forget. Okay. I almost forgot what episode we're doing here. All right, there we go. Okay. Well, I tell you what. I suppose we're about ready to leave Space Dock. What do you think?
I think we are. But I mean, we cannot leave Space Dog during season 3 without saying season 3.
Season 3. You know what though? Tonight it won't. For me, it won't be that as rough as well, especially 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
Tonight's not a rough one for me that much. For me, anyway, and that's the fun of it. Raquel and I do not discuss these episodes before. That
we don't.
I don't think that's a plan so much. We just don't. So, and we don't know what the other one thinks about it. So, we'll find out though, won't we?
Yes, for sure.
In short order.
Pat S is saying that he lost his father to cancer. Yeah, I'm very sorry for your loss, and so is Clobby, Pat. I'm very sorry to hear that.
Damn, dude. Well, it's a good cause, absolutely. And we also lost to a different form of cancer. Our wonderful, great friend Mark C, who we love and we honor on this show anytime all the time. And of course, every Monday night's named after the great Mark C Comics Talk, and my good buddy. And so we miss him. So, and by the way, the other show, Wednesday night, Open Geek Silliness as usual, and then Thursday afternoon, 10 p.m. Eastern, the Global Geek Gang assembles. No particular topic, but we're going to be doing a topic in the one after that.
It's so much fun. It's so much fun, whether we have a topic or not.
Oh, yeah.
Just like the greatest people on the internet assemble, and there's just so much fun. It's such a great time. I look forward to it.
It is the best. I really do love it. I love it here. That is unbelievably fun, and so is this amazing crew we have here on Saturday night. So we're just very blessed to have so much fun with with both groups there.
Yeah.
So let's see here. I do believe we're about to leave orbit number 1. Take us out. Take her out, Mr. Sadek.
Goodness. Well, if you're unfamiliar with the format around here, we are using a book called Star Trek 365, the original series. It's written by Paula M. Block and her husband, Terry J. Erdman. I know it looks like Arrowman because of the font choice, but it is Erdman, much to my chagrin. And the reason why we use this book is because it was christened by the great DC Fontana. And, a word on that. It is very important when you're buying Star Trek books that you're not buying layers of lore that have not been verified. They haven't been fact checked and so on and so forth. So, Memory Alpha and these user generated places in Web 1.0, they were pretty reliable for Star Trek information. And not so much these days. So we're using something that not only reveals production notes that have been verified, but just a very short summary of each episode, and that's our guiding point around here. So what we wind up doing is Clobby and I, Captain Clobby and I, we infill any information that we feel is missing. Sometimes we critique Block and Erdman's coverage, and then we turn it to the chat, which is the greatest gaggle of geeks and niche nerds in the whole entire universe, and together we cover 66 to 05 in production order.
Indeed, all of real Trek only, folks. No, except no substitutes. So 66 to 05. And well, I believe our first episode on tap for this evening is. Are we ready? Are you ready to roll for number one?
We are.
It is Day of the Dove, and I will pull up a picture. And I
Yeah.
got a picture. There we go.
So if you're watching this on a streaming service, this is coming up as season 3, episode 7. We're on prod code 66. So the 66th episode created. If you have a copy of the block text at home, and some of you do, you'll know that we're on tile or brick number 302. And I say that because this is a very odd book. If you order this book from any of the booksellers, I want you to make sure that you leave a note that they wrap it very, very carefully, because Clobby calls this book a brick, and that's exactly what it's like. It's like it is the most awkward book you've ever seen. So it's not really pages so much as it is little tiles of information. So that being said, we're going to start on 302, 303.
Welcome,
And,
Canadian
just a word.
Spidey, by the way. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, hey, Canadian Spider-Man.
Sorry
So
about
happy
that.
to
Go
see
break
you.
your flow there, but go ahead.
Oh, no, don't worry about it at all. These are the Steves I know. These are the Steves I know. And that
Hey,
singing
Fat
is
Steven, too.
terrible.
By the way, we should stop for a second. Congratulations, Mr. Fat Steven Seagal.
Ah, yes.
My dear friend, Fat Steven Seagal's great channel, and there's a link to it, my description below to his channel. He just hit his 1,000 subs, and I want to say,
He did.
hey, my good buddy, look, man, I love you, bud. You've been a good pal to me, and I appreciate you, and just big congrats to you, my friend.
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt the flow there, but I didn't know he was going to pop in there.
Don't worry
And
about
I
it.
meant to do that earlier, so go for it.
I never have a script for this show, and I don't even pre-read what is in the block text. Everything is extemporaneous, so I don't mind being interrupted. I'm just talking off the top of my head as well, so no problem at all. And definitely, I love that you stopped me to congratulate Stephen. Stephen just hit that G note, and so good for him.
Well done, buddy.
Now he's crossed the monetization threshold, and of course, we wish him all the best.
Absolutely. Onward and upward, bro. Up and away. So continue with your reading of Day of the Dove. Let's get
All
this
right.
light this
Let's
candle.
do it.
Pardon.
Summoned to Beta 12A by a cry for help from the colonists on that world, Kirk and the Enterprise arrived to find nothing. There is no sign of a colony or after effects of its annihilation. As Kirk attempts to puzzle it out, a badly damaged Klingon ship arrives. Its infuriated commander, Kang, blaming Kirk for the deaths of most of his crew. Kang attempts to claim the Enterprise as a replacement for his own crippled vessel. But although he and his crew come aboard, Kirk manages to keep them at bay until somehow all energy weapons aboard the ship disappear, inexplicably replaced with swords, and each side is evenly armed. Overcome by an all-encompassing sensation of bloodlust, both crews erupt in a frenzy of brutal combat aboard the Enterprise. But neither side is aware that a malevolent energy creature has orchestrated the entire encounter. Now this entity has come aboard to feast upon the feelings of primitive hatred and violence it has evoked. Commander Kang is regarded as one of the most prominent warriors in Klingon history. Decades after the events of Day of the Dove, he would still be making his presence known in the Star Trek universe, specifically in the episodes of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Blood Oath, which also featured John Colicos and Willin Campbell in reprisals of their earlier Star Trek roles. I wonder why she put a semicolon between Willin and Campbell. Very strange. Okay, anyway, in their earlier roles, and again on Star Trek Voyager, flashback. Similarly, much of the strength of Day of the Dove in an otherwise uneven third season comes from the actor Michael Ansara's powerful performance as the self-assured leader, Kang.
Indeed.
Ansar's unique appearance, his family emigrated from Syria when he was 2 years old, contributed to a career in which he played a variety of ethnic roles, primarily Native Americans. Although he appeared in more than 50 productions on stage, screen, and television, his single most recognized role was as Cochise in the series Broken Arrow. His performance as Kang is much of a kind with the noble but fierce Apache leader. Now in his 80s, Ansara regularly voices the character of Mr. Freeze in the animated Batman series of TV movies. Klingon science officer Mara wielded authority over many of the 437 warriors on Kang's battlecruiser, although some of her clout may have come from her position as Kang's wife. Aside from the respect she commands from Kang's crew, by sheer virtue of her existence, Mara occupies an important role in Star Trek history. She was the only Klingon female viewers would meet during the Kirk's 5-year mission, although observant viewers may spot another female who remains anonymous within Kang's crew. Although the concept of women in combat positions was still in its early years in the future for Americans, female Klingon warriors apparently didn't face the same barriers. Besides Mara, the Star Trek audience would soon meet Valkyries in Star Trek III, The Search for Spock, Vixis in Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, and the delightfully trashy Duras sisters on Star Trek The Next Generation. Actress Susan Howard, who played this first among Klingon females, is best remembered for her portrayal of Donna Krebs on the series Dallas. Hey, I watched Dallas.
Yeah.
The entity that fed on the anger it engendered among Kirk's and Kang's crew was never identified. Students of Star Trek history refer to the spinning color-changing pinwheel as Beta 12A entity, after the planet where the warring parties of Day of the Dove first encountered it. But that designation doesn't take into account that the non-corporeal entity may not have been a native to the planet. Unlike the similar creature that fed on fear vibes, most commonly referred to as Red Jack, for its role in the Jack Ripper-related murders in, of course, Wolf of the Fold, the Beta 12A entity didn't body hop. Instead, it visibly hovered above the mayhem it inspired, which meant, of course, that someone had to tell the folks in front of the camera where it was at any given time, so they would all be gazing at the right spot when the effects crew got to work after the principal photography was completed. The problem was easily solved. Visual effects designer Michael Miner tied a multicolored beach ball to the end of a stick and held it in the approximate spot. The actors simply had to follow the bouncing ball. It wasn't because of the ball, however, that the entity and the characters never appeared together in the same shot. That was the fault of the budget. And that is the end of the block coverage of Day of the Dove. What did you think of this coverage, Clubby and chat?
Interesting. And by the way, quick shout outs to T-shirt historian, first time here. Good to see you, my friend.
Hey.
The great Just Joe 47. What's up, buddy? Jabber. Always great to see you, my friend, old time friend. Doug 35. Hello. Let's see here. Let's see. All right. You know what? I don't know if it's just all that surprising to you, but I really like this episode. I've always liked it. This is one of those episodes. I don't know. Maybe I'll get beat up for this. Because I'm not saying this in a bad way. This is kind of almost a guilty pleasure episode for me because this one's fun. This is kind of a fun episode. There's some, obviously it still has some of the great Trek messaging and morality. There's some really over the top bits in it, to be sure. I mean, there's no question. Some of it is like, yow. I mean, some of the sword fights, but you had to understand the time. They couldn't really be, if they were realistic with sword fights, it would have been, Klingons would have been chopping people to bits and all that stuff. Yeah. As McCoy indicated that they were. So some of the fights, but this has got some great Kirk in it. Mm-hmm. I think anyway.
Well, I don't think that you should apologize because we meet you and I often meet, and we meet on this episode. You know, you and I are very like-minded. I love your taste in films, especially in B science fiction films. I love your take on Star Trek. I love your opinions on pop culture, and I definitely meet, as you would say. I love it when you say that. We meet.
We reach.
Um, and we
Yes.
definitely meet on so many episodes, and we share so many of the same opinions. And so, yeah, I unapologetically like this episode. I think it's like it's just
Oh
season
yeah.
3 is not good,
Overall, anyway. Yeah.
but this is I think this is a decent episode. I don't think
Yes,
that
it
it's
is.
killer, but I think
No,
it's a decent episode.
it's fun, dramatic, action-packed Trek, which does maintain some of the best things, elements of Star Trek, which is ideas. It's a very, it really. I mean, you might say that you could, if you want to question how they wrote it overall, maybe, but the idea of the being, the energy being, which again, we love that about Trek when they have these beings that are so, these non-corporeal beings that are
That's right.
really, really way out there.
Yeah.
We like that. This wasn't a good one though. This was well, it was not neither necessarily good or bad. It doesn't go by our type of morality. It was just using beings, in this case, their emotions, as food.
Yeah.
So we don't even know. And I love the fact. I love the concept. I love the fact that, unlike as much, of course, it's not in a league with a devil in the dark or anything like that. But I love
No.
that this is a being that we never do, because chances are that's the way it would be. You just get away with it. They get by the skin of their teeth, and they never really find out an answer what that thing is. And I mean, he said he's going to warn everybody about him, but man, energy signatures and things like that, they can warn the rest of Starfleet about these things, but we still don't know what the hell it was. And I kind of like that aspect of it.
Yeah.
There are many great interchanges between the characters, and it does, like so many great Trek episodes, or even good ones, or even solid ones, that I would call this more of a solid one. Entertaining. It has very entertaining elements, but it also has good character moments, and it also has some of the great Trek messaging, the right kind of messaging that we love from Star Trek, which is about bigotry and about about not using your head, about having your emotions flare up and doing the wrong thing emotionally and stuff. And and it's also about solving your problems non-violently, because it turned out that the non-violent solution was the answer here. Not always, and not even in every Trek episode, but in this one, it was. And that's a wonderful Trek element as well, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And one of the things we love Star Trek for.
Yeah.
That, yes, sometimes the bad things happen. Sometimes they have to fight. Sometimes they have to use their phasers. And sometimes Kirk even has to kill. In this case, not killing.
Yeah.
Save the day. Non-violence saved the day. And that's very Star Trek, especially considering the time this was made.
Yes. I
So I
totally
love it.
agree. Yeah, I totally agree. Pat S. at 36 minutes past the hour says, at CLOBBERIN, like Mark D. Quoted, Kirk said, go to the devil. The question, weren't the people of the future atheist? What are you and Raquel's thoughts? That's from Pat S. Pat, I would just like you to know that go to the devil was definitely getting away from saying hell.
Yeah, they couldn't say
you
that
couldn't
again.
say go to hell at that time, and it depended upon the hour in which the television show was broadcast. And you have to remember that they were just pushing to 79 to get syndication. They were pretty hungry to get syndication. So go to the devil would be euphemism, a kinder way of saying going to hell. As far as atheist goes, I can tell you 1000% for sure. As a Gene Roddenberry fan who has read all of his interviews, including with Humanist magazine and so on and so forth, not Wikipedia articles, but actually Gene himself, it is confirmed that he wanted an IP that was agnostic. So if you're familiar with agnosticism, a lot of people aren't. I can explain that it is it chooses not to make a decision about something that isn't knowable. So I myself am an agnostic, and my opinion on that is that I cannot say yes or no, because I cannot profess to say for sure that which is unknowable. it is unknowable to me. So that is the official position of Gene Roddenberry. That is the official position of this IP. So an atheist is more somebody who says God is not possible. So I hope that answers your question.
Well, and I would just say that I am one as well, but that just also obviously yes, they were, even though they said hell and said energy forever, they weren't going to say go to hell. Yeah. But also it made for a much more fun retort when Kang says, "We have no devil, Kirk.
Yeah,
but we understand the habits of yours." I mean,
yeah,
great line, great setup. So yeah, I always loved it because I love that exchange, and I love Michael Ansara. Yeah. First of all, got to be one of the luckiest dudes who ever lived. He was married to Barbara Eden, guys. I mean, are you kidding? Great actor, and again, as you mentioned in the text, he was great as the voice of Mr. Freeze. Although they didn't exactly get it entirely correct. It wasn't films. It was they did a straight to DVD film on it, but it was mostly on the animated series on TV. So anyway, but very minor point. Welcome, No One. Great to see you, and you are someone.
Hello. And hello to Doug 35.
Yeah, I think I caught him.
Sorry, yes. I can't. I'm not getting everyone on my side. So.
Oh God, no problem.
Sorry about that.
Hello again, Doug. Yes, but again, this episode is highly entertaining to me. I've always found it's kind of one of those episodes that it's just solid fun, and it's got good Trek stuff on top of it.
Yes,
as we mentioned, the idea of the being, which is the non-corporeal being, using them basically for food, but its food is emotions.
Yes.
And sustenance. It's sustenance or manipulating matter and mind to control, people, and who knows how many beings it has done this to. Yes. We don't know. So that's a fascinating idea. And like all of great Star Trek, or even good Star Trek, or even very good, the best of Star Trek, one of the best things, it gets you thinking. It makes you think, that being is interesting. What if it's caused wars? What if it's gone to other planets and all these other things?
That's exactly what I thought the entire time that I have been watching this. And when I was young, I thought that it was like so inspired and unique. And when I was young, this was mind blowing. The entire concept was mind blowing. And so, yeah, I love your thoughts and reflections here.
It really is. Yeah. I mean, and not only that, it has a funny ending.
It does have a good ending.
It's like, again, what do some of the best Treks do? Sure, they don't all end, with a rosy ending, but many of them do. And after all those horrible things that are happening to them in this episode, you had the funny ending where all the good spirits have to depower this being before the dilithium crystals run out, and all that good stuff. And just a kind of a fun romp of an episode. I've always liked it a lot. I thought this is one of my favorite ones of the third season. I don't put it up there and don't worry, Thoth, we're not getting nowhere near my top 10 or 25 in this season. So, don't worry, buddy. But I still like this one a lot. So, relatively speaking, of course, and for the third season, wow. So, now I believe you have some notes.
Yeah. So if you haven't tuned in before, I write notes as I watch each episode, and I have to watch Star Trek in a linear fashion. So that was the impetus for this whole enterprise. Har har is that I have to watch it in a linear fashion. So we're trying to fit it all in because I try and watch. Well, I don't try. I actually do watch the entire thing 66 to 05 every year. So I take notes while I'm watching. So, of course, I watched all 4 episodes today and I took notes. So here they are. I said more women in service. We have 2 women in the military. Love the idea that Klingons were more socially advanced than we were in 1968. I have Duhan's hair is cut very short to avoid the executive slick back order. I have Kang is outstanding. I love Michael Ansara. He makes this episode. And William Shatner, Kirk, has Spurpies here, and she's big. Ooh, she's a big one. This Spurpies, you could land the Enterprise on it. It's on the left side of his lip.
Mm.
We get to see the working communicator here. Mark D with a C, my friend. It has the rotating array, which is why I had to have the diamond selects because of the rotating array instead of the holographic image one. I have Nichelle's hair looks absolutely outstanding. Man, is she gorgeous. And then, the entity is a whirligig purchased from a souvenir shop on Santa Monica Beach. Visual effects expert James Rugg was inspired by a hysterically low budget. He used an out of focus camera and spotlight gels. Gels are what go over top of spotlights to change colors. And then he filmed it. And then what he would do is he would run the whirligig at different speeds, blowing on it with a fan. And then he would change the speed of the film of it. And some of it is even the whirligig backwards. I put sets the Klingon lore for the 440. So Kang says 400 died, 40 remain. And of course, Block says 37, but that's where they get the 440 number from. So the lore is set. I love the fact that there is Klingon makeup on all of the walls. It reminds me of everyone who lives in the UK who is currently using the self tanner, and they get it all over themselves and others. So I thought that might be funny to our friends in the UK who laugh at everyone who wears self tanner. Apparently, it is a huge meme there. My favorite quote from this episode is "Only a fool fights in a burning house,"
Yes.
which is, of course, a wonderful Klingon proverb. And I'm going to try and say it for you in Klingonese right now. I received a Klingon language and linguistics guide, the actual one, as a gift. And so, of course, I looked it up. So now I'm going to try my best. Don't throw fruit at me. I'm doing this for your benefit. So it is Mi ka ta bo kachtak su ko nech. That is only a fool fights in a burning house in Klingonese.
Love it. Well done. Round of
That is
applause,
all I have
folks.
in my notes.
Well done. Yes. I wonder if you could say in Klingon, 4,000 throats might be cut in one night by a running man. No, I'm not going to put you on the spot there. I'm saying.
Well, I could look that up. I could
No,
totally
don't worry about that.
Might take me a little while because it's the actual linguistics guide to Klingonese, and I have the dictionary as well. I received it from my daughter as a present many years ago, maybe, I don't know, 10 or 15 years ago. So whenever I have a
Nice.
Klingon question, I just look it up in my Klingonese linguistics and dictionary guide.
Nice. 32 flavors of Nick Wads are stopping in to say hello. Hey, my good friend. Always good to see you, bro. Always good to see you. Tim, you did well, though. That was excellent.
Well, thank you.
Michael Ansara is terrific. Like I said, we talked about him a little bit. Great actor. It was always it was cool to see him come back and play Kang actually 2 more times, DS9, then once on Voyager.
Yes.
So, and again, of course, he was bumpy head Kang by then, but still great actor. Yeah. So again, this episode, other bits in it that I really enjoyed, of course. Before we get to our ratings, the trick. I love the trick that Spock pulls on Kang when Mr. Spock, we have a guest. Adjust transporter to wide field and bring everyone in the target area. Then he just holds down. I love how he just holds the communicator down, presses a button on it. King doesn't know what the hell. He doesn't see him do it, I guess, which is great. Understood, Captain. And of course, they should have left those fuzz-faced goons in the transporter. We should have left those fuzz-faced goons in the transporter. That's where they belong, non-existence.
Yep.
Scotty, again, some great stuff between some. I mean, you can call it what you want. That big scene on the bridge with Scotty and keep your fucking hands off me. Just keep away.
Yeah,
your
it almost sounds like he's
dropping green-blooded half-breed.
Sorry to interrupt you. I didn't realize you were going to do an impression
or
a quote. I beg your pardon.
No problem.
No, it's just I forgot what I was going to say.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay, it's okay.
I got
I
carried
was
away.
going to echo and amplify something you were saying. Oh, yeah. Now I remember. When Scotty says that, don't you think that it sounds like the F-bomb?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, like which one when he says
When he says Vulcan.
oh yeah,
But-
keep your fucking hands off me.
Yeah! Sounds like the F-bomb.
Maybe so, yeah. No, actually, JT Kirk, I think it was Kaur who was the Dahar Master. It was Kaur who was the Dahar Master.
Yes.
And I don't know if Kang was as well, but I know Kaur was, because Kaur popped up in a few more.
Yeah.
Sir. If I'm where any Deep Space Nine fans want to check me on that, but I'm pretty sure that was it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I love that. I love some classic Kirk when he says he calls him a liar when they finally get after the transport trick, because he says to him on the planet, "I'll be more to the Enterprise." Once there, no tricks. It goes, then of course, I said no tricks after we reach the ship. This pretty Kirk stuff. And then again, you just gotta love him. You just gotta love what he was at the Dahar Master. What was Kang? Maybe he was too. I'm just saying, and I remember for sure that they all were. Thank you.
Yes.
Good. I remember Kaur being one because they made a big deal about it in an episode. So anyway, all right. So here we go. We're about ready to do our ratings on our first episode for the night, Day of the Dub. So my good friends, I'm going to ask my wonderful first officer Raquel for her rating on Day of the Dove, and I'm going to give mine, and then I'm going to ask all of you extraordinary ladies and gentlemen in the chat.
Yes, wait for the green light on that, folks. And please do me a favor. Please leave your comments, because we love to throw them up in the marquee. We love to put the spotlight on you and to make this a real conversation. So don't be afraid to leave your own comments, or, your ideas, or something that you would like to speak to. We'd definitely love to entertain that for you. And then wait for the green light from Clobby before you start, because that chat can just whiz right by on us. Clobby,
Okay.
Captain Clobby, I unapologetically give this episode an A-. And my reason being is I believe it is a wonderful lore builder. I love seeing the original Baldric that Worf will eventually wear. I love the fact that there was this camaraderie between the Klingons and the humans, and it shows that we can get along. And later, the peace process that was brokered. And Kirk really struggled with that. And I love the dialogue in this. I love the introduction of these multiple layers that we're going to get with the Klingons. It's just a really fun and beautiful episode. And I don't think it needs to apologize to anyone. I think it's terrific. And it could have easily have fit in season 1 or season 2. I do not consider this a season 3 stinker. So no raspberry, no raspberry for this one. This is a solid A- from your first officer, Captain.
Excellent, and I'm not far off from you. I'm giving it a B+, which it means it's a solid Star Trek episode. I reserve my A's for my top 25.
Yes,
but
I understand.
I do again, I still love it. I mean, it's a lot of fun, and I agree with everything you said about it. It is absolutely pure, good, fun Trek with a lot of Trek heart to it, and a thoroughly entertaining episode through and through.
Yes.
So I'm very happy with it, and yes, I've always liked it. No, I didn't mean to make it sound like I was being apologetic so much, but I was setting it up because some people kind of make fun of some of the goofy fight scenes, and even I joke about some of the goofy fight scenes. They're kind of silly. With McCoy, like, Jesus God, he's like hopping with his little sword. I mean, this is McCoy. I know the thing's making him angry, but McCoy becomes like Mr. Badass Killer in this one for a while. It was pretty funny that scene when he's in there.
The thing is shocking, though. It's shocking, though, Cloppy, because you have to think about it this way, though. People think that there are aspects of it that where it's super campy. But I will tell you this: from all of the books that I have read about Star Trek, I know for sure it's not a part of lore. It's not something I got off of IMDb or Wikipedia. Literally everyone, even Gene Roddenberry, had abandoned season 3 at this this point, because there just wasn't enough money. There's too much arguing and fighting over the direction of the show. Everyone just felt defeated, and they just wanted to get over the finish line. So the fact that the episode can transcend that and do such a good job of it, it to me it's remarkable. I've actually read in some of my Star Trek books literally them saying, everybody had walked away. All of the major nucleus people who cared about this IP and who brought it to fruition and made it spectacular and beautiful, they had all walked away with their heads hanging low, and they felt as though they had been punched and kicked. And so for this episode to come out of that, despite all of that, to me, it's a triumph. So I think that's why I give it higher props.
Not a problem at all. No, look, hey, I'll tell you something. Absolutely worthy and just a fun episode. No, I've never heard it bashed that much. I'm just saying, even I've got to kick out some of the fight scenes I was kind of laughing at. And McCoy's hilarious to me. He actually has some really. I love some of the acting by D. Kelly when he's kind of under the influence, if you will. All of them do a terrific job, as does Nimoy. When they're under the influence of the alien.
Yes.
But I just thought it was kind of funny. He's like, there's peaceful Dr. McCoy leading the way in the fight just with that sword. I thought, again, it tickled me. Not in a bad way. I just kind of thought it was funny.
Yeah.
So,
I absolutely agree with everything that you're saying, and I understand the spirit in which you make your comments. But for everyone at home, it's very important for them to realize that was basically the situation going on behind the scenes here. So I just sort of feel like this episode is a triumph given everything that was happening. I mean, all the writers had walked away. The executives had fully inserted themselves into it at this point, and everyone was just exhausted and tired of fighting about it and just wanted to get over that syndication finish line. So quite sad.
Yeah, and actually this may be my favorite of the third season. If it's not my top favorite, it probably is my favorite of that season.
Yeah.
So anyway, mine was a B+. You were an A-, and now I would ask our illustrious chat, please, if you will throw your ratings in there. We will start to get to those. Ash said something about the Ash cut is done. I'm not sure what he's referring to exactly. Is he talking about last week's review?
Yeah.
Character.
He made an excellent joke where he said he was going to start a movement called Release the Ash Cut.
Okay.
Because he was doing the director's cut of his comments.
Well, you can DM to me anytime, my bud.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if I can. Now, everyone, bear with me. We're going to try to get to our ratings. I got to go slow with my chat here for a second and see if we can see when the first one is. Because
I think it's LT at 56 minutes past the hour.
Oh, okay. Oh, wait. There he is. Okay. All right, we're going to start with the great Lord Thoth. Let's see here. This is a B- for swashbuckling delight. Yes. Great acting, great guest appearances, but that story. Well, I like the story, dude. Lady Nerd Klingon. Oh, by the way, we should have mentioned Susan Howard. She is
yes.
She's, as Chekhov said, very, very beautiful. Yeah, it's a pretty disturbing scene, but yeah. But great acting, great guest appearances. But that's let's see, Lady Nerd Klingon. Oh well, yeah. It was the Klingons were very different back then. The beatnik Klingons. I called them the beatnik Klingons back then. The special effects, cringe. A fun episode though. Wow, yes. Dude, gotcha. I never put them in order. Okay, now I'm hoping that was the first one. Then we got the great Phantom Outsider, B+. It's a solid episode. Dr. McCoy becomes bloodthirsty. Yeah. I love some of those filthy butchers. Scotty gets a clay. Yeah, I do. Again, I'm glad you brought that up. A claymore. You're a beauty. I love that. So that's fantastic. Yeah. Also, the alien convinced Scotty there would be perpetual prohibition until dead. Motivated Scotty. There you go. G. Bud Martin. A little bit corny at the end, but yes, a solid Trek episode. B+. I hear you. Yeah,
agreed.
He was. I like, especially when Kirk's little sonnet or whatever you want to call it. Go ahead, in the heart, in the head. I won't stay dead. Next time I'll kill you. Next time I'll kill you. I'll do the same to you. We'll go on. In the good old game of war, pawn against pawn. Brr, screw me, I can't. But anyway, you know.
Go on, get out of here. Get out of here.
Yeah, haul it. But yes, at least Spock didn't start guffawing and laughing. That would have been a bit much. It would have been funny though.
That's a head desk moment. Then that would have earned it a raspberry.
Or in Feliciano, B+, 4 out of 5 claymores. Love the lore building. Yes. They could have done better with the makeup. The sword fight was camping. Yes, it was kind of funny, but camping. But good. But I love me some Ansara. Well, yeah, gotta love Ansara.
You know that the makeup was his idea. He felt that given the budget when he had played a Klingon, that he felt that it would enhance the difference between the two species, so that it would actually feel at home like it was a different species. So yeah, but unfortunately, the makeup was just not of a good enough quality. If they would have had water-based makeup, I think it would have gone over much better. But with that grease makeup, ooh, it's just, you know, you wind up looking like a slice of bacon.
No one wants a bacon. Right on. Yes. Or a Shatner would say, listen, that bacon is really bad. I love bloopers. 4 out of 5 birthday cakes from the great Canadian Spider-Man. Turned 49 yesterday. You youngster.
What?
Happy birthday.
I don't believe you're
buddy.
49. There's no way you're 49. I've seen you. I know what you look like. There's no way you're 49. You're a fresh 27.
And stick to it. The classic Trek theme of peace over war. Excuse me. Yeah, peace over violence. And I love the original portrayal of Klingons.
Yeah.
With a C. I love that. Classic low budget special effects. We love. Yay, Kang.
Yeah.
Very good,
really
sir. Very good, sir. Very
Yep.
good, sir. Let's see here. J.T. Kirk says, is this a rating? Okay, there we go. I never trust the Klingons, and I never will. Yep. I can never forgive them for the death of my boy. Yes, exactly.
Yep.
Discover Country. Warp 8.5 out of 9 zillion nines.
Yep. J.T. Kirk, you were thinking the exact same thing I was thinking. It's so dynamic. Great storytelling.
Read Perry's Planet if you want to read about some of the old zoo Klingons. Have you ever read that novel? Love that one. Let's see here.
I haven't read that one
Trek
yet.
Novel. Joe or Jack Hadelman? One of the Hadelmans. I like that book. And it was one of the early late 70s. It was late 70s Trek novel, actually, right around the time the motion picture came out. Number 1 of 2 for the great Snortopupus Cuber. Let's see. A-. Okay.
Yeah.
Klingon fun and good Klingon quotes. There's a Klingon fan here. 4,000 throats may be cut in one night by a running man. I remember John Byrne reused that in one of his I think it was Byrne or somebody, one of the IDW comics. Let's hear. Klingons kill for their own purposes. Scotty with a sword and better hair. Well,
yeah, he wasn't putting up with that,
like that
executive slick back. He just cut it so short he couldn't slick it back. Now that's how you answer that kind of harassment.
Indeed. 2. The basic premise was interesting. Some of the acting was over the top in grand Star Trek style. Yes, that's fair enough.
Excellent comments, Snortopupus, as per usual. Love your comments.
Indeed. We appreciate you. The Catman 80, a.k.a. G.D. Myers, 3 out of 5. Yes, indeed.
Okay.
Absolutely Liger fan. Happy belated birthday to the great Canadian Spider Can. Hey there, Brightest Day. Thanks for popping in, sir.
Hey, Brightest Day is here. I don't see Brightest Day on this side of the stupid StreamYards. Brightest Day, it's nice to see you.
Yeah, I was on a stream on Nick's stream last night and finally got to meet him. He was on there with us, and it was a pleasure meeting you, sir. And we will get you one of these days. We'll get you on the Global Geek Gang, as I said, sir, and we will talk some. We'll just geek out about something, buddy. I know you're a big Green Lantern fan, so we appreciate you, and I appreciate seeing you here. Doug, 35. If they're A+ and A, then I'll agree is A-. Okay. Well, high rating indeed. Thank you for that. Let's see here. And they call him Scuba Pete. Scuba Pete.
Scuba Pete.
A-. A-. I could talk till I'm red in the face about this great swashbuckling episode. Loved Kang as Kirk's equal. Yes.
Yep. Great.
Yes. Yeah.
Love that. Love that.
Indeed, indeed, sir. The great Chris Persia. B+. I don't know what it is with Michael Ansara portraying the characters whose name starts with K. Oh, well, yeah. Or sound like K, but always brings greatness to every role from Kang to Kane. That's true. I forgot about that. He played Kane on Buck Rogers. He played Kane. He did. He played after Felix Celia played him, and I forgot in the pilot later. Good call, Chris. That's right. I love Buck Rogers, and he was great, even as coaching and Goat Cheese. And by the way, he was also wasn't he the Blue Gin on I Dream of Jeannie? Or something like that.
He might have been.
I think he was on I Dream of Jeannie, if I remember, something like that.
Ooh, he might have been.
I think he was on there. So, I could be getting it wrong. The great Eric K. He was something on I Dream of Jeannie because I know he married the magnificent Barbara Eden.
Was he a warlock?
I thought he was like a genie, the genie.
Or was he a genie?
Or whatever. Something like that. It's been a while since I've seen that show. I used to love it, though.
I don't know.
Eric K. B. Scotty grabbing the Claymore was epic. I love that scene. And it's it's pretty interesting cut to it's like him, and boom, it cuts to him. Was epic, but it was more of a Scottish cutlass, first sexy Klingon. Yes. Yeah. More of a Scottish, not a Claymore. Then is what you're saying.
Yeah, I've actually heard that. I'm not a sword expert, but Eric is correct. I have heard people make that comment before.
Oh,
that it was more of a cutlass, and I think that's where all the swashbuckling comments come from.
Buckles
and a bottle of rum.
Buckles definitely swashed in this episode.
Yes.
I did not know that. Wow, that is wild, weird stuff. Doc, did you know that? Ed, answer me. Did you know that? Well, Ed, you better wake the hell up. Goddammit, this show's not over yet. Oh, sorry. All right, Just Joe Jobber B. Or 7.5 out of 10. A good idea with some good performances, but there were clunky moments and effects. Gotcha. I hear you, brother.
Yeah, a whirly gig, doing an entire thing with a whirly gig like that. I mean, I thought that they were clever and I thought they did a really good job, but imagine the defeat when you're out on Santa Monica Beach and you pick up a whirly gig from a souvenir shop and you have to turn it into an alien. It just
yes, thought it was S. All right, I don't know if this is a review, rating or not, but I'll get Catman KDD Myers. All right, and felt the story could have been told a little bit better. The actor I thought did very well. Okay, and now Katie Carr just gives us a number 8.
Oh. Probably 8 out of 10, and I think Dee meant that S for satisfactory on the old report card. So I think that's what we're getting at there. You know who I miss right now?
I never got any of those.
Is some Ace Cast Iron, NCC 17.
I don't know where he is. If you're out there listening, brother, we love you, man. If you
where the heck are you?
I don't know. Who's supposed to be with me Monday night though for the Invincible show? But thank you, Katie. Appreciate you. That's a nice rating. Raw Thunderheart says, I'd say A++, because this feels like what Star Trek always feels like.
Yeah.
I can't get mad at the special effects. It don't bother me either. Because a fantastic sci-fi story transcends horrible SFX. At least it wasn't internet gas. A little reference there to the New Warriors. Well, here we go. Esh. A+. This was a good episode. I would have more, but was writing the Esh cut. No problem, buddy. Clobby Raquel. Hey, that's dude. We, brevity is the soul of Saturday Night Star Trek. Here. Clobby Raquel. Let's see. Clobby Raquel. Just say when, and I shall release my extended review, building from last week and into the chat. Well. If you want to put it there, bro, no one's stopping you. But it's up to you. But I don't know if I'm going to read 16 of those suckers. But you can do it, or you can send it to me later, bro. Look, hey, you're an honored guest here, my friend. So you can do whatever you want in the chat, man. If you can put it in there.
Yes, absolutely.
Except putting cuss words. You better not put no lying cuss words in there, young man.
And the chat is now exploding in nerd. You guys are such nerds in nerd talk about a classic weaponry and ancient weaponry.
Oh,
So
I'm way
please
behind.
continue to have your amazing nerdy conversation. I'm reading all the comments. You
Cool.
nerds.
I'm way behind because I'm waiting for the ratings. So
It's
there you
okay.
go.
Go ahead.
Nice.
Clobby.
The Great Mark D with a C. Or Space Ghost. Or like whatever. B plus 4 out of 5 Claymores. Cold War episode with a Twilight Zone feel. Excellent. A worthy message on racial tolerance. True, we didn't really talk about that much, but yes, a very important thing, and the kind of thing that was Star Trek was, and in a fairly nice and well done and sort of subtle way. Very watchable despite some chunkiness or maybe being clunkiness. Either way. Interesting sci-fi theories, fun action, and great quotes. Well, yes, sir. Well done. Agreed.
Great comments. And so you're right in the area I'm at, right? You know, there's only 1% difference between a B plus and an A minus. So I like it for all the same reasons, and I'm disappointed for the same reasons, mostly due to the executive people who inserted themselves in season 3. Thanks a lot, guys.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, all right. Let's see here, Pat S. I missed my Mego action figures are action figures, not dolls. Mom lied to me. Phasers and tricorders are not sky blue. Oh, okay. Well, dude, that's not a rating, but why'd you direct me back to that one, man? That's
Migos are so expensive. I don't know how people afford Migos. Do you know what I mean? Mark
now,
D with a C has Migos that are like, they're so expensive.
Right.
They just
nerdgasm. I still have a few of the ones from the 70s that are not in great shape, but I still have I think I have Kirk, Spock, McCoy. Let's see here. Yeah, well, good. We're not, you know, I thought that we were sending me to a rating there. Do you have a Mark, Pat S? Do you have a rating, bud? I'm gonna have to put you in the penalty box, man. I'm just kidding. Pat S is a great pal, and dude, I can't wait to just meet you and hang out with you one day because you're close, bro. So, Canadian Spider-Man does whatever Canadian. We already got his, didn't we?
Yes, we did. But the Ash has released the Ash cut.
Well, I backtracked because I thought he was sending me back there for.
Snorta Poopus says, "Clunky or chunky? Are we discussing Shatner's weight?" Snorta Poopus.
No, mine actually. Let's see here. I'm trying to find these. Let's see, we got all of our ratings, so we can move ahead, but we'll make sure.
Pat S says the first letter was. Oops, sorry, it's moving. The first letter was an A. I gave it an A. Pat S gives this episode an A at 12 minutes past the hour.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you, bro. Pat S with an A. Excellent, sir. Well, I'm way behind, dude. Sorry. All right, let's see. Okay. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. I think I did. Bruce Lombardo, welcome, sir. I'm way behind. Okay, I'm having some big trouble with this chat, so bear with me, everyone, please.
StreamYards really needs to work on their code and improve this platform because, wow.
I'm trying to get my situation solved also where I can get a boom mic thingy. I got it. My desk can't handle a boom mic. It's not set up for it. So I'm having to sit way back from my stupid screen. I have garbage eyesight, I'm wearing 2 pairs of glasses and I still can't see it. Because I'm blind. Let's see here. Okay, let's see here. Steve Mitchum put an A.
He did.
There you go. All right, buddy. Let's see. I'm making sure I don't want to miss anyone, you know.
I think he said something about liking the lore in one of his comments. I think Steve's been active in the chat and actively discussing the episode with others in the chat. So I think that's basically along the lines of what he loves. He loves, you know, the Klingons, the lore, the fun aspects of the of this episode.
Yes, indeed. Bruce Lombardo, Fred Williamson was not in any episodes of Star Trek that I recall. I'm pretty sure it was Fred Williamson in an episode. I'm not sure he was, buddy. I know who he
Dee Dee
is.
Myers says,
Fred the
Dee Dee
Hammer
Myers says,
Williamson.
Clubby, you missed mine, brother. Just saying.
You're gonna have to tell me where it is, or put another one back in there, man, because I'm trying to find them all.
Yeah, the chat is misbehaving, everyone at home. Hey, James Caserta just walked through the door. Or
James Caserta.
maybe you were already here thanks to StreamYards. We're not sure. And who else is here? Looks like there's another person here.
I'm backtracking. I'm trying to find them all.
Critzable the Crazed is also here. I've never met you before. So whomever you are, welcome. And it is very nice to meet you.
Yes, it is. We appreciate y'all. I'm sorry when I'm backtracking on the chat, trying to find everyone's. I love to get I really do. This is one of my favorite things is getting everyone's ratings. It's so much fun.
The best part
it's
of
just
the
tough
show.
to see it sometimes, you know. This is the best part. Yeah, I love this part. I really do. That's why I want to be sure I get everyone, and I do miss people because I'm blind and all my until I can get this boom light thing figured out. So we won't be too much longer. We'll get to the next one, everyone. I just want to make sure got everybody. I'm sure I missed someone. If I missed you, go ahead and throw it back in there and I'll just catch up. Critzable. How do you say that? Critzable the Crazed?
Yeah, yes.
Well, welcome, Critzable the Crazed. That is a new person.
And this wonderful person is very pleased that you and I are both able to pronounce this person's name correctly. So, correctly.
I accidentally did it right. Wow. Critzable, thank you so much for being here. It is always a pleasure to have new people. James Caserta, my buddy.
Yeah,
right,
it's so good to see you, James. And you're late for class, James Caserta. I'm kidding.
19 parts. Dude, we got to get moving, buddy. Ash, but you can put them in there. Anyone wants to read them. I can't spotlight. They would be here forever. Man.
Yeah.
And
you are going to make the replay or on the podcast very entertaining.
Yeah, dude. We're already taking me forever to get to it. I mean, you can do it, but you put it in there, everyone. So there you go. Pat S.
Scuba Pete says.
Hey, I get it. There you go.
Scuba Pete, love you. He says, I'm going to go smoke a ham while we read the Esh cut.
Anyone's allowed to read it, but man, I can't do it. It will take me forever, brother.
No, Scuba Pete, we're not going to read the Esh cut.
And I can't even see it all. And so I can't even, it would take forever. I have to move my computer.
Yeah, it's okay. Don't worry about it, Clubby. Don't worry about it.
I hope you understand, brother.
Oh, of course he does.
I hope Ash can find it in his heart to forgive me.
Yes. Plus, Ash leaving that in the chat on the replay is going to be hysterical, and I hope everyone enjoys it. And we love you, Ash.
Critzable the Craze says, "I give it 3 out of 5." Is that Z-Wahanders? Z-Wanders? I don't know what that is, man. I'm an idiot. As I am not super familiar with the episode or a lot of TOS era Star Trek. Well, fair enough.
Zywanders?
Is it Zywanders?
I don't know. In the United States, you're Z. In Canada, we're Zeds. So.
Zeds. Yes, you are. Zwa. Well,
Dee Dee Myers says, Clubby, I thought it was a 4 out of 5. Thought the actors and actresses did a great job. The only problem I had was that I thought the story could have been told better.
Let's see here.
And Bruce Lombardo says that a Z-Wander is a German claymore or a Zy.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, excellent. Well, thank you for that, Chris. Well, I like learning things. So thank you, Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Clubbing House. Maybe we should put our grades first in the parentheses. That always is helpful. Yes.
Yeah. If you don't mind, that'd be great.
That's if you could do that. We appreciate it. It makes things a little bit easier to see.
Thanks, Pat.
Pat S is the man. All right. Well, let's see here. We're about to get on to our next episode, everyone. I hope I didn't miss anyone. Dark Shadow Logan. There we go. I give this episode a B+. Great episode. about overcoming prejudice and seeing different people for who they are and not rumored to be.
Yeah.
I always thought the violent alien was Q in retrospect. Playing around with people. Yeah, you never know. It was a Q thing to do, I guess. Testing, little testing there. That is right. Oh, that's right. Yeah, he is in Cloud Miners. Holy crap, dude. That's right. Oh man. Well, the one answers that one, Bruce Lombardo. One, I'm in Idiot, and two, I hate the episode so much I haven't watched it in 20 years. But I do love me some Fred Williamson now.
Yes.
Fred the Hammer Williamson. Great player for the Kansas City Chiefs, and even an actor who was in one of my favorite movies, 1977, Robert Altman's MASH, for one thing.
Yes.
All right, so here we go. All right, here we go. The Catman. D.D. Myers. Clobby, I thought it was 4 out of 5. Thought the actors and actresses did a great job. The only problem I had was that I thought the story could have been told better. Gotcha. Didn't you tell me that one earlier?
Yeah, I read it for
you.
you.
Crap.
Just because
I'm sorry.
No, don't worry about it. You have nothing to apologize. The StreamYards is weird tonight. I don't know what's going on. Most of the time I can't see people when they come into the room, and it's jumping all over the place. It's crazy. They really should improve the code on this platform.
Thoth, I'm sorry about that, but he has time for one more because this one took an hour and a half. I'm sorry. I will try to do better. Yeah. Well, again, we're going to move on to the next one because he's right. It took me forever to do this one.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't feel bad.
I'm not in a hurry, but
Yeah.
Our next episode, of course, everyone, and you may begin, is I will fetch a picture. Plato's Stepchildren, my friends.
Yes. Plato's Stepchildren, if you're on a streaming service, you're looking at season 3, episode 10, if you're watching along. But on this show, we do everything in production order. So this is the 67th produced behind the scenes, and it's not in broadcast order. This is production order. And if you are reading along in the block text, please turn to tile number 305 for Plato's Stepchildren. Responding to a distress call from Platonius, Kirk, Spock, and McCoy beam down to find Parman, the planet's ruler, on the verge of death from an infected leg. The Platonians, the landing party learns, have powerful telekinetic abilities, but they have no resistance to infection. When McCoy cures Parman, the grateful leader attempts to convince him to stay on his world. McCoy politely rejects the invitation, but the it's so hard to read this. The Greek turned into Roman, then turned into imaginary language. It's just hysterical for me. Will take no for an answer. Using their powerful minds, they put Kirk and Spock through an escalating series of bizarre and humiliating performances in an attempt to pressure McCoy to change his mind. It's the stuff of legend. The kiss between Kirk and Uhura, Plato's Stepchildren, in 1968 was American television's first interracial kiss. Except for, like most legends, it's not entirely true. One, by definition, interracial kiss means relating to or involving or representing different races. There are many races on planet Earth, not just 2. And technically speaking, prior to the episode Plato's Stepchildren, Kirk had already kissed at least one other woman of another race, even though television viewers were not aware of that fact yet. In Elan of Troyes, shot 10 episodes prior to Plato's Stepchildren, Kirk smooched Asian American actress France Nguyen. The episode, however, would not air until 4 weeks after Plato was broadcast. Star Trek is a dramatic program, dramatized fiction, if you will. But there are other kinds of television programs, and other shows got to first base ahead of Star Trek. Actress Anne Bancroft raised eyebrows when she gave Sidney Poitier a kiss on the cheek with his Oscar on the Academy Awards broadcast in 1964. And in 1967, Nancy Sinatra and Sammy Davis Jr. greeted each other with an on screen kiss in the televised musical variety special Movin' with Nancy. Number three, audiences may think they saw Kirk and Uhura kiss in this episode, but did they really? Reportedly, the network exerted quite a bit of pressure on the production to keep William Shatner and Nichelle Nichols from achieving actual lip lock. For most of the sequence, Uhura and Kirk are in profile, but just as they are about to kiss, the camera moves in and Kirk swings Uhura ever so slightly toward the camera. Now, the back of her head blocks part of his face, and then he leans forward. The audience can't quite see what's going on. Do their mouths touch? Probably. But do they actually kiss? Well, as the newspaper editors said in The Man Who Shot
Liberty
Liberty
Valance.
Valance,
Yeah,
when the
love it.
legend becomes fact, print the legend.
It's a legend.
Although the Platonians forced Kirk and Spock to engage in several bizarre activities, one can imagine that Kirk might not have objected to kissing Uhura under different circumstances. And while Spock would likely have been a big fan of flamenco dancing in any event, there's a chance that he might have enjoyed singing Maiden Wine, assuming he could kick back and sip out of those pointy ears, which is to say, if it were in Leonard Nimoy's persona, since Nimoy himself wrote the song. Boy, sometimes she writes really weird. Nimoy's professional singing and songwriting career began during Star Trek's first season when record executives from Dot Records, then a subsidiary of Paramount Pictures, approached the producers to inquire about releasing a Star Trek themed album. Recognizing an opportunity to bring in some additional revenue, Herb Solow, then Desilu's executive in charge of production, quickly penned a memo to Desilu's business affairs office, urging the organization executives there to enter into the requested deal with Dot, or, for that matter, any other recording company that wanted to do anything along those lines. And this is in quotes, be it straight, dramatic music, weird music, Nichelle Nichols singing, Bill Shatner doing bird calls, or even the sound of Gene Roddenberry polishing a semi-precious stone on his grinder, end quote. Nimoy's big break came when the daughter of Dot arranger producer Charles Green encouraged her dad to put Mr. Spock on that Star Trek themed album. Nimoy agreed to do it, and the album, which as a result would be titled Mr. Spock's Music from Outer Space, was cut. The record was successful enough that Dot asked Nimoy to sign a long-term contract. When Nimoy composed Maiden Wine, he may have had one of his upcoming albums in mind. Plato's Stepchildren hit the airwaves in November 1968. Maiden Wine, a longer version with musical arrangement, would appear on the album The Touch of Leonard Nimoy the following year. And that is the end of the block coverage on Plato's Stepchildren. What did you think of this coverage? She writes a little bit wonky in this one, as she does sometimes. She makes odd writing choices. But other than that, what did you think?
It was actually some pretty interesting coverage about that. It's something that it just gets all over the place about the first interracial kiss. It's just like it's so like the whole print the legend thing. I like that mentioning because I love that movie, by the way. Mm-hmm. The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance is a great film. One brief aside, though, we have to embarrass someone in the chat because this Monday I've just been informed that it will be Katie Carr's birthday.
What? Happy birthday! Beautiful, beautiful Katie. Young lady. Yeah. I am so proud of you being in university and getting your ballerina scholarship and getting on the dean's list in your first semester. I am so incredibly proud of you, my young, beautiful, talented friend. And I'm very, very happy you were born. Happy birthday, beautiful lady.
Indeed. Happy birthday, Katie. Well, Monday. Happy birthday, Monday. So we love you there, Katie. Thank you so much. Didn't mean to put you on the spot there, but, I wanted to tell you that. So, and then the chat's already been saying it to her. So there we go. You know what? That's 2 episodes in a row with a great actor named Michael, because I love Michael Dunn. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if they mentioned it in the text or not. By the way, this is not what I call a really terrible, horrible episode or a really great one either. This is kind of one that I'm kind of like, I think has some good entertaining moments. But I just have to say something. Michael Dunn gave one of the most brilliant performances ever on television on the show The Wild Wild West as the villain Miguelito Loveless. That he was on many episodes. He was truly a fine actor. He's really good in this one, and Plato's Stepchildren, of course. But he was one of the greatest villains on television, and no one just ever even thinks about it. Never gives another thought. So when I first saw this episode, again, when I was old enough to know what was going on, I had already been watching them all the time in reruns of The Wild Wild West, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, whoa. So, yeah, I just wanted to give that as a side because he deserves a lot of credit because he never gets that much credit. And it was an extraordinary long-running performance as the recurring baddie on that show. And it's really good here as Alexander. I always thought this episode was, again, I guess I keep doing this. I don't mean to. But I keep saying that, yeah, people make fun of it. And you can make fun of it for some of the crazy stuff that both Shatner and Nimoy had to do. But I think they were actually terrific at it. I mean, the story called for them to be forced by telekinesis and by thought control to do these crazy, weird things. And is that easy for an actor or not easy for an actor? I don't know. Did they have fun going crazy, doing some of the nutty stuff they were doing, that being forced to being done by the Platonians, right? We're calling them. I don't know. But I've always found this one to be we lost Raquel. Hopefully Raquel will pop back in. Maybe your computer or something, everyone. So, but I kind of, like I say, I don't think this is one of the greater episodes or anything like that. So I'm going to be watching for her to pop back in. Let me try to text her and see what's going on, everyone. But I thought it's a fairly interesting concept, the episode. I don't want to say too much until Raquel gets back. Let's see. Can you pop out the chat on YouTube? Everyone, I'm waiting to see if I'm for Raquel to come back before we continue. I don't know. Could be some kind of Eric. You sent me a message. Cool. I'll take a look at that in just a second, man. But let's see here. I don't want to really continue too much until she gets here. Until she gets back, it could be some kind of a technical issue. I'm trying to contact her now. That happened to me earlier, but that was because I did make some kind of bad mistake I was screwing around with let me see if I can. Well, don't worry, everyone. She'll be back. We hope. Oh, man. Well, I guess it could be bad weather. Yeah. Oh, there we go. I think there you are. Hey there.
Hi. Yeah, sorry about that.
No
StreamYards just kicked me for no reason.
Weird. Well, my hand was not near my mouth, so it could have been me by accident. I tell you that. That happens, I guess. I'm sorry.
No, StreamYards is being really funny tonight. I don't know what's wrong, but
yeah. Oh well,
I'm here. Back. Sorry about that.
Hey, no, it happened. I was just like I said, I was concerned there, but yeah, it's just StreamYards will do that sometimes, folks. I mean, it's crazy, and it doesn't help that I'm a dumbass when it comes to this stuff, and I hit buttons sometimes. But this time, that's why I keep my hand away from the mouse a lot of times when we're doing this. Anyway, so basically, I don't know where you were when we stopped. We were just starting to talk about Plato's Stepchildren.
Yes, we sure were, and And you were talking about Michael Dunn and how he's an unsung hero of acting, and he's underappreciated because he plays a great villain.
He is just terrific on the Wild Wild West. I never could get enough of his performance on that show. It was really great. And so, yes, he is. Yes, we're bad. We're back, folks. And yeah, I just thought he was terrific. And I was also talking about how this is again, for a third season one, I think this is a fairly interesting episode. I don't have any problems with it. I know it's got a lot of goofy stuff, but the goofy stuff is necessary to the story. And when you have that, it's not like it's campy on purpose. The Plutonians are controlling Kirk and Spock, and I think Shatner and Nimoy, and I don't know, but I think they probably had a little bit of fun being able to go crazy.
Yes.
And I don't think I've ever read anything where they've talked about it. Maybe you have, but there was a lot of fun stuff there. When it's just I've heard people like make fun of it because they're being really silly, but they're being controlled, by these beings, and it worked in the story. I think this is a fairly interesting idea of an episode, the concept of the Plutonians and stuff like that. There's some good character moments, some really good. When Spock has been, forced to pull those emotions to the surface, and when Spock is sitting in the room later contemplating it, and thinking about what he could have injured Kirk, and McCoy's, and that's another thing. Remember we talked about in For the World is Hollow and I've Touched the Sky, that subtle, very small moment where he puts his hand on McCoy's shoulder.
Yes,
he's concerned for him. Well, there's the reverse in this one where McCoy is very concerned for Spock when these beings are forcing these emotions from beneath the surface. It's not good. It's not good for him. It's not something, it was very damaging towards him. And he talked about the hatred he had for what the Plutonians did to him, which I thought was really good. And again, it's a great performance by Michael Dunn. I consider this one to be I don't love it as much as I love Day of the Dove or anything like that, but I think it's a fairly entertaining and a fairly solid episode. So I don't have a big problem with it.
Yeah,
one way or the other. So, and I believe you have some notes.
I sure do. I just wanted to say that Chris said that we were very lucky that Spock must have been able to restore me from the residual node in the pattern buffer. And I would just like to say to Chris, I love you. Okay, so for my notes, I just put, this is one of the banned episodes. So it was banned by the BBC for torture and sadism, along with, of course, everybody already knows this because I remind everyone, because of course I collect banned books and I love banned things. So The Empath Whom Gods Destroy and Miri, which you hear me say all the time. Interestingly enough, Plato's Stepchildren was not able to air on BBC until it was opened up to cable in 1993.
Wow.
It was also banned by several southern states for the interracial kiss, but that was not widespread. It was just a smattering of the southern deep south television stations. Nimoy wrote Maiden Wine. Block covered that. Nichelle Nichols has repeatedly said that this episode generated more positive fan mail than any other, and it is her favorite episode. Nichelle and Bill have said publicly and as well in their books that they did not actually touch lips due to the prejudice of the studio executives. Worrying about its reception. However, I must say that it could also have been the fact that William Shatner had a massive cold sore, and also the fact that Nichelle being with Gene was pretty protective over her, right? I put on here, this is inconsequential to its cultural impact. It had a huge surge for the civil rights movement. This powerful imagery must have been a delight to Gene, who was sleeping with Nichelle and is on record for protecting her and her image. So when I say that, we've heard in the block text and elsewhere that he really didn't like the idea of something violent happening to her, or of course the aging scenes, because he really loved her.
Yeah.
I love the quote, "Where I come from, size, shape, and color makes no difference." I love that quote from Kirk.
Yes. I love
Also,
that.
very famous self-slapping scene that has become meme-tastic, memorific,
Yes.
memeing all around the world.
Yeah.
Kirk says the planet went nova. Planets can't go nova.
Planet went
Stars
Nova. Wow. It's hot.
stars go nova, not planets. Also,
Oops.
of course, I have to correct, Cupid is not Greek. Eros is desire, and is of course the Greek god of sex and love.
Oops.
Cupid belongs to the Romans. Lore of Bill or Leonard, I put in my notes. So one part of lore says Bill insisted on kissing Michelle because of jealousy. He wanted the spotlight. He wanted to be the kisser, and thus the script was rewritten for that purpose. The executives wanted Spock to do it, so it would be less offensive to viewers. So we have two of these competing lore things going on here. And then, of course, Mark, a D with a C, sent me some evidence this evening that the executives were actually for it. So this is one of those places in Star Trek lore where I try to explain to everyone, don't go by what you see on a website, because there are layers and layers of lore here. Different
Yeah.
people telling different stories. So in the block text, we're hearing from what the executives thought, what CBS or not CBS, but what everyone in the production at the time thought, and of course some opinions that were christened by DC Fontana. Then of course we have Nichelle Nichols's account in her book and in her interviews and in her con participation, and we have the same thing coming from Bill, from William Shatner. So there are a lot of stories in play here about the level of prejudice, the amount of prejudice that was going on, who kissed whom and why, and who was originally supposed to kiss whom and why, and so on and so forth. So this is one of those messy things where I can just provide you the facts. I can tell you this. I believe Nichelle Nichols 100%. I love Bill Shatner, but he does do and say some things sometimes that I don't really agree with. And I don't mean by opinion, I mean like just the way that you treat people sometimes. Sometimes I think he's a hero, and then other times I think he takes it a little too far, and he could be a little cold and crass, especially the way he treated Dee when Dee's dog was killed and stuff like that. So I'm not so trusting of Bill. I am trusting of Gene, and I am trusting of what he thought of Nichelle and how he didn't want her in that one particular aging scene. And of course, he really loved her. As a matter of fact, he could have kept both women going indefinitely if they would have allowed him to. And and William Shatner had a massive, disgusting, craterous cold sore. So, I mean, it could be any number of things. And no one will confirm or deny what was going on with the kiss, whether it was supposed to be Leonard Nimoy and Bill took it to steal the scene because, of course, he has admitted in the past that he was jealous, or if it was pressure from the executives because they were worried about what people in the Deep South were going to think. So there are all of these things in play, and all I can do is provide you with the facts. And that's about that. I don't think I have anything else here. No, just that's that.
Well, I think this is a fairly entertaining episode. I don't really have anything I strongly dislike in it. I do like a lot of things in it. There's nothing really I really dislike. It's just not like what I'm super stoked about either. I like it. I think it's an interesting premise. I think they're good, solid performances all around. And again, big fan of Michael Dunn and again, so I think it's fairly entertaining. It's not. I mean, is it the greatest story? Not for me so much, but again, I like it. And again, for third season, it didn't bother me or anything that much. So I think it's a fairly decent episode. Personally, I don't know about you, But what we will do, I guess, is I'll get your rating. I'll get mine, and then we will get our wonderful chat to give theirs if you're ready.
Okay, for me, this isn't a super strong episode. I want to like this episode. When I was quite young, I was enamored with this episode. I thought this episode was magnificent because, of course, many of you know I consider Nichelle Nichols, who is a communications and technology engineer and is an astronaut. Of course, I'm a communications and technology scholar. I grew up worshiping the ground she walked on. I thought she was the finest woman, and I wanted to grow up and be just like her. So I wanted this episode to succeed, but it just doesn't resonate with me as strongly as it did when I was young.
Yeah.
When I was young, I probably would have told you this was an A+ episode, but no, as an adult, I'm not feeling this one. I think it's really great. I think it was wonderful for the civil rights movement. I'm so happy that it started all of this lore.
Yeah.
I don't really care what Block thinks of it. And the things that she said are, I don't really agree with her rhetoric. I think it's kind of silly that she said that because it obviously had a massive cultural impact. So nitpicking at what Sammy Davis Jr. did on a television show, I think it actually doesn't even make any sense. There were many other things she could have done in the coverage here, and probably put DC Fontana at the forefront to sort of clear up a few things. So yeah, all of that said, this is a solid C+ for me. I want to love it. Loved it as a kid, but it's just not a strong episode.
Hale's Project Story Time. Good to see you, buddy. He popped in just to say hello. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm kind of a C. I'm a C on this one. And the reason why I think C is good for anytime there's an episode that I think is just kind of okay, that doesn't have anything annoying or bad in it, or that does have some ideas and some fairly entertaining stuff in it. It's Trek, so I give it, in its third season, so it's definitely better than a lot of them, I think. But I'm the same way, and I'm not leaving turning backflips over there either. So I'm a C on this one as well.
Yeah.
And now I will ask our. I'd almost give it a plus for Michael Dunn, but I'm gonna stay with the C.
Crizable the Crazed. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm sorry that you have to leave early. I hope you'll join us next week, and I hope you'll be here the whole time. We really enjoyed your company. Clobby and I are very happy that you joined us, and we hope to see you again.
Absolutely appreciate you. By the way, I agree with that, Mark D with a C.
What did he say? What did he say?
He said brilliant. A speech by Spock eliminating his hatred of the Platonians. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, all right, everyone, please give us your ratings now, and I'll try to find you. Let me. I'm gonna try something different here. Move my microphone. Move myself up closer to the screen. I'm working on it. And hopefully you still hear me the same as you were.
Yes, I hear you just fine.
Okay. Well,
hopefully StreamYards doesn't kick me again.
Oops.
What a weird night. We usually don't have any technical problems at all, folks at home. This is very unusual for us.
Nope. It's a weird one. I think here we go. I think this is the first one, and I hope I'm right. Doug 35 says C. Okay. Lord Thought, there we go. The great LT. C-. This episode wasn't bad, wasn't great. It was memorable. An interesting premise. Agreed. Yeah. That the environment of alien worlds would change you and give you abilities. Hail Caesar. Love that salad. Well done, LT.
LT's doing that on purpose. It's not Greek. You know it's not Greek, LT. LT, don't tease the Greeks. We bite.
That's all Greek did. Oh, a Dark Shadow Logan. B-. Pretty good story about how power can corrupt one's soul. And the weakest of them had the best heart despite being used and persecuted. Yes. Also, first interracial kiss on TV. Can't overlook that, even though it wasn't. But I hear you. It is. Yeah. It's considered that. So, Yeah.
It is. Yes.
There you go. All right. One of 4 snorter poopus has turned into ash. 1 of 4. C-.
It's not a poopus.
Where did the Platonians learn about Alice?
Yes.
through the looking glass. Well,
Mhm.
maybe they took it into somebody's mind. I don't know.
I was gonna
And
say that, but I don't wanna pick on it, you know what I mean?
I
But
hear you.
I try not to pick Snortopoopas, Cuber. I try not to
Maybe
pick, but I do let me tell you something, though. I do love you because that means that if we were watching together, we would both look at each other and go, "Come on." So, I love you,
they're
Snortopoopas.
mind readers, maybe too. Let's see. And a flamenco dance. Is he mean flamenco? I don't know. Dancing and dig those crazy heels. The famous kiss heard around the galaxy.
Mhm.
I'm gonna try to find your other ones here before I backtrack. Man, 4, dude. Wow. Snortopoopas is in the mood there. 2-4. The attempt at ancient Hellenic is that am I saying that right? Hellenic
Yep.
clothing was interesting. The reenactor nerd in me says, "Yuck!" The use of I'm not even going to try it. Dude, what are you trying to do to me? I'm dumb enough as it is, man. Frogs by Aristophanes was a nice touch. I'm going to kill me a polar bear today.
I love you. These are
Oh,
great.
I'm just kidding. You know I love you, Snort. And I got your. By the way, I did get your email, Snort. Bruce. Thank you for that. I'm sorry. I'm terrible with emails because I never checks it that much. But I got yours. Thank you. 3 of 4. I wish they had made the Platonian names more authentic.
Mhm.
Michael Dunn gave a good performance as Alexander's refusal to descend to the level of the other Platonians. Yeah, absolutely. I'm
Agreed.
totally with you there, my friend.
See, Snortopoopas is all about the details, and I that just sings to my heart because I'm all about the details as well. I try not to pick on Star Trek when it makes errors like this, but it's usually season 3 where we see this. We don't see this with the high quality writers.
Indeed. showed showed that he was a giant among moral midgets. Nimoy sings. Yeah, well, yeah, Nimoy sings.
Yeah.
Bitter dregs.
Mhm.
Oh boy. Oh, sorry. Pat S. C plus. Second best toga party ever. Yeah, you can't beat Animal House for that. The best? Well, it had to be Animal House. Oh, yep, and he's quoting it. Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? Germans? Forget it. He's rolling. I love that movie. Oh, I love Animal House. Can't show that today. Oh. Let's see here. Debug Martin. Sorry. C plus. Plot is sort of a mix of the empath and the previous episode, with the crew being coerced by aliens.
Mhm.
Seems like a rehash, but done as great as always. A plus for getting to make out with Nichelle.
Mhm.
And I love the part. You got to love the part, D-Bud, where I'm done. Said, "Now I have you in my trap again, Mr. West and Mr. Gordon." I loved him I love the Wild Wild West. That was a great show. I don't know if you've ever seen that. That's
I
crazy.
haven't. I wish I
I love it.
had.
Sort of a super. I'm sure you've heard of it. Sort of a science fiction spy western. Robert Conrad and the amazing Ross Martin, right?
Yeah.
As Artist Garden. And call him Scuba Pete. C. I don't want to harp. Oh man, on this one, too much. It's like warm loop of fisk. Jesus, boy.
I love you,
Jesus,
Scuba
boy.
Pete.
Scuba Pete, well done, sir.
James
Hey,
Concerti gave it an A.
gave it an A, and Katie gave it an A and 3 exclamation points. Wow, thank you,
Some
Katie.
people love it.
There you go. Well, look, I have nothing really bad to say about it. I think it's pretty good, but there's
Yeah,
just,
it's not too
you know,
bad.
there's some I reserve B's and A's for different ones, but I mean that's a valid rating if you really liked it.
It's
I
true.
can't knock you. If you gave an A to the Spock's brain, then I might have to tease you a little bit. But in all good fun.
Yeah,
Anyway,
this is an episode that you can defend.
yes, you can. Yeah, and I like it. I mean, again, we both like it enough. Here we go. Rod Thunderheart. I am a B minus because I still get lost in the sci-fi aspect, and yes, the Spock speech was still between human and Vulcan, which is a cool bridge between logical and human illogical.
Mhm.
Indeedishness, indeed. Steve Mitchum, one
Out of
third, fourth,
345.
45. Dude, my interest in Trek began when I was breastfed by my
What?
dude.
Steve.
What in the hell is the matter with you? All right, let's see here. One of two are in Feliciano D minus. Wow, he loves this one. Not. I could not get into this episode. Taking people mentally without their consent is a violation. Well, yeah, they were the baddies. There's no question about that. I would get into the kiss if Kirk and Uhura would have been persuaded to show passion.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they were kind of being forced against their will in this
Yeah.
they were kind of, the story didn't call for that. They were being forced to do something
Yeah.
that they didn't want to do in front of a lot of people. So it wouldn't have made a lot of sense if they would have been showing passion. They were not happy.
Yeah. Well, that's what the depiction is. It's almost as if it's a social rape, because
Yes, this
it's
was
a type of
forced.
humiliation and forcing people into sexual intimacy or emotional intimacy when they don't desire it, which is, what helped it
Right.
get banned until 1993 in the
Well, yeah.
UK.
She's being forced to do something she didn't want to do, and so is Kirk, because Kirk is pissed
Yeah.
off with these people. I mean, yeah, hot chick or not, he is angry that his ship is endangered. These people are forcing, humiliating Spock, doing all those horrible things. They're not in any kind of mood for any kind of passion, man. I mean,
Yeah, it's
at
true.
all. It doesn't work. JT Kirk 3.5. Spock self slaps out of 5. Spock self slaps out of 5. If the Platonians were so smart, why not devise some method of destroying pathogens to keep their bodies from succumbing to old disease? Just my pet peeve. Yeah, but they were so lazy and thought they were so immortal and thought they were so invincible, quote unquote, or that they were arrogant. They didn't care.
Yeah.
That was kind of the point. They're all just laying around doing nothing. Thank you.
Platonians and Plutonians. It's
Yes.
just, it's pretty funny, isn't it? It's funny when it's magical made up language.
Indeed.
It's hard to
I
get
love
it
that.
out, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. It's always fun. Eric KB. I like this for, if nothing else, kissing Uhura. Well, who wouldn't
Yes.
want to do that? I would not mind. No,
Yep.
I would not either. Huge stories of this. It even changed some's mind about it. Okay.
Yes.
Great Shatner forced this to happen by screwing up the final take.
Mhm.
Okay.
Eric is correct. Nichelle Nichols, I believe it was Nichelle Nichols, in her book, she described one of the letters that she had received from someone who was against interracial relationships, who was celebrating this episode. So it actually caused somebody to change their mind and to be more open-hearted and more receptive. And so Eric is right on that. That actually happened. It really did affect some people who were prejudiced and set them on a different path, and motivated them to write positive letters to Nichelle and to the show. So Eric is 100% correct in his comment, and I love that he added it. Thank you, Eric. Mwah.
Doug 35 says, C minus. I was too generous. I may have changed to C minus. You can change when you want to.
You can
that's fine.
change whenever you want.
Sure. Rod Thunderheart. Oh yes, make it A minus. First interracial kiss. Well,
Yeah.
you kind of dealt with that, but
Well, yeah, it's important to remember, Rod, that during that awards ceremony we had an interracial peck on the cheek, and then of course we had the Sammy Davis happening. But it's obvious that people consider this the first because of its massive cultural impact, and of course it being in syndication. So yes, there are some people who, even with the evidence, still consider it the first interracial kiss. So I do understand where you're coming from there. Many fans feel the same way, even with the contrary evidence.
indeed. 2 out of 2, not the worst, but bad enough. I don't go into violations. I hear you. That's from Raymond, and Raymond says he's channeling his inner Ash 2.5. There you go. Well, we all have to do that sometimes, buddy.
Yep.
Katie Carr. I give it a B, but since it was ahead of its time, it gets a big old A. Gotcha.
Yeah, I understand your rationale because when I was young, I had that same take. It's just like if you can change hearts and minds and you can affect the culture so dramatically, yeah, it is quite wonderful, isn't it, Katie? It is beautiful to have a positive influence on culture and society. So I 100% support your rating.
Indeed, indeed. Mark D with a C, B minus, 3 out of 5 bitter dregs. Groundbreaking kiss. Emotional performance for Nimoy.
Yes.
Whose harmony?
Hmm.
Yours. Plato wanted truth and beauty above all. Justice.
Hmm.
1 of 2. I'm sorry, dude. I will get there. Let's see. 1 of 2. I'll get to you, man. Welcome, Phoenix Argus, by the way. A new arrival there.
Hey, Phoenix Argus is here. Welcome
Mm-hmm.
back. So good to have you.
Let's see here. I'll get to your second one, Mark. With the C, I got to find it first, man. I agree, Doug. I agree, Dark Shadow Logan, and Doug. Wild Wild West was a great show. I need to go back and watch it. I love it so much. Phoenix Argus says A plus for the actresses. A for Kirk and Atoga. C for the story as it fell flat. I can't put my finger on it, but something about this episode kept bugging me.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. I definitely understand. Absolutely.
Love the comment. I get it.
It's Eshin time. Buckle up.
It's not the execution people wanted, hey? Like all the raw material is there to make this a sensational episode, but it just doesn't get over the finish line and people want it to.
Yep. Afraid not. Esh, 1 of 3. A short one here. A plus to the power of infinity. There is so much to say about this episode, but we'd be here forever. Few takeaways. Number two for Esh is this here. The equality quote from Kirk about his home, not caring about size, shape, or color was beautiful. Yes, sir, I do love that. So much great trick in there. I got to get through that. And very powerful. And even though it was forced, which is not good.
Yeah.
He's talking about, okay, I'm getting there. Nurse Chapel finally got to kiss Spock, and Kirk and Uhura had their moment. Eek.
I love that you brought that up, Ash. I have to interrupt Clobby for 1 second because this is very interesting. So Eric and I were talking earlier with Clobby about how the Uhura kiss was forced, and so it was kind of like almost like rapey, like they wanted to show the violation. Right. Here, though, one of the things that I loved when I was young is the fact that I felt like Spock finally got to kiss Nurse Chapel without feeling ashamed that he was showing sexuality or emotion. So I like that you pointed that out because when I was younger and this was like the greatest episode in the world to me, that is one of the reasons why, because of course, I'm a huge Leonard Nimoy fan, huge Spock fan. So the whole time I was like, I think I leapt off the couch and started cheering because of course Chapel has been holding a candle for this man for forever, and they finally got to smooch. But it's crazy how different the two smooches are. So I love that you pointed that out, Ash, because there is a drastic distinction betwixt these two kisses. One, it's almost like a release, and one, it's showing the violation. These people are violating one another.
Yep. Let's hear number 2 of Mark. Sorry, Mark D with the C. Continuing yours. Great villain empowerment with promotion of Idic and racial tolerance. Kirk Alexander, where I come from, size, shape, and color makes no difference, and nobody has the power. Nobody has the power. Yes. Yeah, I love that too. Again, I like a lot of stuff in this episode. Let's see if we got all of our ratings, so we could get moving here, everyone. We're gonna move along now. I think I got all my ratings. I hope I got all of my ratings. Let's see here. I want my ratings. Dang it, where are my dang ratings? All right. Well, I do believe everyone. I hope we didn't miss anyone. You can throw one up there if we did, but my eyes are closer to my screen now.
Jed's here.
Could be.
Jed
I'm not
came
even.
in.
I'm way back in the back of the my
Oh
chat.
no,
So
that's okay. I got kicked off of StreamYards the first time in my life. So yeah, I think Jed's here. Jed, hello. Mwah,
yeah.
mwah.
Yo, Jed. Hey, buddy. Let's see here. Okay, I think we got all of our ratings. I'm gonna go ahead and get. We're gonna move on to the next episode, folks. Because we got a scoot here. Got 2 more to go.
Although I
Okay.
think we missed a lot of hijinks on the part of Snortapoopus,
Yes.
who is on a roll this evening. Oh, Brad Fisher just walked through the door. Brad!
Welcome, Brad Fisher. Welcome, sir. It's great to see you. Great to see you. Let's see here. Okay, well, let's see what Mark said my biggest issue with this episode is why didn't the crew just take Kieranide whenever they needed powers of telekinesis? That maybe it only works on that planet. I don't know.
I thought the same thing myself too. Isn't that something that they should have brought back for?
Yep. Or
for
maybe
the Federation. Yeah.
Maybe it's something you can only take in a limited base. You're gonna have to find out some kind of a way to write it where maybe you better take it. You shouldn't take it more than one or a couple times, or it could be damaging to humans.
Yeah. Yeah, just
like
make it damaging to the liver or something like that, and then all of that loose end would have been tied up.
Cause you to go insane and do horrible crap or whatever.
Yeah.
So, there's Steve Mitchum. Let's see here. Since having a baby, I give it an A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. He gives it an alphabet.
But Mark D with a C. It's got a big sloppy plot hole. It
does. Many do. Now, everyone, our next episode is Don't Blink. If you blink, it'll miss it.
Yep.
And it's not Blink from Doctor Who either.
Nope.
All right. Okay. Is you ready?
Yes, sir.
I'll go for it. Number 1.
All right. In a wink of the eye. Wink of an Eye. Season 3, episode 11. Prod code 68. You guys, 68. You know what that means. Only 11 left. All right. We're on the blog text. We're on tile 308. LT says I have to run. Thank you, CLOBBERIN Times and Raquel. Great show. Avon lives. Yes. Long live the Legion.
Lives, and long live the Legion, brother. Thank
Good
you,
night, LT.
The great Lord Dog. Thank you, buddy.
Night.
Appreciate you, bud.
The Enterprise responds to an urgent summons from the planet Scalos, but when Kirk and company arrive, they find only a beautiful deserted city and a burgeoning mystery. As a member of the landing party disappears into thin air, back on the ship, the crew finds evidence that someone has been tampering with assorted controls and equipment, but there is no sign of an intruder. Only after Kirk's coffee is spiked with Scalosian water does he find out that the ship has been infiltrated by the same beings who sent the initial distress call. However, now he and only he can see them. Kirk learns that long ago their metabolism has been accelerated by environmental changes on their planet. And now, thanks to the contaminant added to his coffee, so has his. Once again, what are you writing? Write better. Dila, queen of the Scalosians, informs Kirk that her people are in the process of taking control of Enterprise. They plan to use the ship's male crew members to help Scalos deal with a severe infertility problem, one that ultimately could eradicate Dila's entire species. Throughout its 5-year mission, James T. Kirk seduced women in every port, or at least it seemed as if he did. But in movies and television of the day, such activity generally remained an open question without proof of visual. Up to this point in the series, the closest viewers had gotten to said proof was Bread and Circuses, when Kirk was given the beautiful slave Drusilla to use as he wished on the night before his scheduled execution. The pair kiss. The camera pans up to a burning oil lamp, and then the shot fades into a very similar one, except that the lamp has burnt out. The camera shifts to show Kirk on a cot, alone and fully clothed. Block says. That's about as much as NBC Ever Vigilant Standards and Practices Department would permit in those days. It was an era desperately clinging to the mores of the 1950s, even as the sexual revolution was taking place outside the studio gates. But something seems to have changed in the year that transpired between Bread and Circuses and Wink of an Eye. For apparently, while the audience was presumably distracted by cuts between scenes showing activities going on in other parts of the ship, Kirk and Deela did it. The proof is the sign of the shoe, or rather the boot. Kirk sitting on the side of his bed, pulling on his boot. Deela is is nearby, fixing her hair in the mirror. It's clear they were playing three-dimensional chess. It is undeniably the most tantalizing moment in all of Star Trek, but viewers are forgiven if they missed it, given the circumstances. It was all over in a wink of an eye. Sorry,
the dog doesn't
folks.
even like that one.
My daughter just got here and her dog's freaking out. Please excuse me.
No problem. Hey, doggy. We like doggies. Raquel had to go handle that, folks. She'll be back in a minute. No problem there. But we got. Don't worry. I wrote down. LT had to go. I wrote down his rating there, and I will talk to him about his. I'll get his rating on That Which Survives later. But
sorry about that.
Not a problem. We love doggies.
I've got one heart patient dog that's sitting beside me that you can all hear coughing all the time. She's dying from congestive heart failure. Then my daughter brings over her dog and he barks up a storm. I am very embarrassed and I'm very apologetic. I'm sorry to everyone.
We love doggies.
Okay, so on 310, the console surfaces on the USS Enterprise bridge were studded with colored resin buttons laid out in a very specific pattern. After the show ended, professional model maker Greg Jen managed to acquire a box of the precious baubles, which was good news for the producers of Star Trek: The Next Generation when they wanted to recreate a section of Kirk's original bridge for the episode Relics. The buttons, borrowed from Jen, who occasionally did work for the series, added a wonderful touch of authenticity to what was supposed to be a holographic reproduction. Yet somehow, something wasn't quite right. A few years later, when Star Trek Deep Space Nine's producers once again created Kirk's bridge, this time for the episode Trials and Tribulations, scenic artist Doug Drexler researched and resolved the problem. It was a matter of placement, Drexler said. There's a certain logic to the way they're laid out, the way they're placed, the sizes and the types. If you don't place them in the right spot, they don't have the proper sweep to them and they don't feel right. It's a matter of degrees. But if you miss by a couple of degrees, it might as well be for a mile. And that is all the block text has to say about a wink of an eye. What did you think of this coverage?
Interesting stuff. This is not. This is an episode. Really, you drink something and you. I mean, the idea of people moving at accelerating rates is one thing, and it's fairly interesting, but by drinking water. I didn't think it was particularly handled very well. I'm not sure they were set up to handle those effects and stuff like that. On the plus side, I mean, oh my goodness, what's her name? I can't remember her name now. What's the lady's name?
Kathy Brown.
Is it? Okay, yes, I believe she was actually married to the great Darren McGavin at one point. And my goodness, the scene you were talking about that wasn't in the coverage about the scene. Mm-hmm. I thought that was I've always been amused by that. It was pretty obvious, and again, everyone's like, "Wow, I can't believe they did that." Yeah. I really felt bad for my boy Jason Evers in that damn nappy they made him wear. What in the hell? Because I actually like that actor. He was he was underrated. He was on a great show I love that no one has ever heard of called The Guns of Will Sonnet. And he was really good on there. He was a good actor. I just don't think this episode had much of a story. I don't have a lot to say about it. I mean, there are a lot of worse ones. I thought the execution of the idea was poor. I thought the episode was it had there was some interesting some of the stuff with Spock and Spock solving the problems and things like that, solving the problem and stuff. I thought was okay. And I guess I'm a little mild on it because there's so much worse ones in this season. But I'm not a big fan of this episode. It's I'm sort of kind of lukewarm on it personally, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
There's interesting stuff in it. I mean, it's not. Again, it's not. I don't think it's terrible by any stretch of the imagination. But
no, it's not awful, but it's also not good.
I don't like the idea much.
Yeah, I don't like the ideas. It's not very sciencey, and I think that Kathy Brown is an odd-looking duck, and it just doesn't work for me. This episode has never worked for me. I'm just not a fan.
Yeah. I'm kind of with him. I'm actually going to agree. Lord thought that the lead, but he gave me his rating. I kind of agree with him on this. So again, if you got some notes or you have some notes,
I do. So Scotty has executive hair in the opening scene, but obviously he cut his hair. And I like pointing this out because I think it is absolutely ridiculous the way that these executives inserted themselves into this show and just ruined it. And I think that the modern filth that calls itself Drek, and various other names that I will not mention, I think they could learn from season 3 about what it is to have artists and creators making something, and then executives. So anyway, obviously, the opening scene is a footage from the Empath, because Duhan was not having it anymore and chopped all of his hair off because he hated that slick back look. The plot resembles The New Accelerator by H.G. Wells. I'm a huge H.G. Wells fan. So I collect his books. And this definitely resembles The New Accelerator. Kirk has an open booty call, literally and figuratively. Snortopoopas might like that one, booty call. Why not keep the Scalosian water an antidote for Starfleet? I put in my notes. Also, why would mating with humans save the species? That would just make a hybrid. They don't tell you that, do they? Yeah, they don't explain it at all. Yeah, and how did they beam aboard successfully? I just want to know because isn't that like you're taking apart your atoms and molecules and then reassembling them? But if it they explain nothing about why men are sterilized. Why the whole speeding up thing? They don't give you that much of a backstory with it. Yeah, why were they infertile? And in the block text they say it was only the men, but they chose ladies too. So why not put everyone to sleep and take the raw materials needed? And then I put in parentheses, organs and reproductive fluids.
Oh, good Lord.
I actually put that in my notes, and I do apologize. But yeah, why not just milk the cow, as we could say very politely and cutely. Why do they need like a relationship, and why does he need to be with this princess? And she actually calls herself a princess.
Yeah, they give Ash you all right, Raymond, Feliciano, and Ash, you 15-yard penalty for making a corny comic book joke. Like Raymond's got this. Yes. Because that's how Jay Garrick got his speed flash power, the original Golden Age Flash, by drinking something.
Yeah.
And then later it was changed to the Speed Force. And at least, Ash, it's not water; it's called liquid Speed Force. Dude, you are fired.
Yeah, but the whole idea of it is preposterous. And if you only have one preposterous idea, you can build a lore behind it that makes it mysterious and wonderful. But here we just have way too much going on. There's so much of it is preposterous that you can't suspend disbelief. It's just disappointing.
It's pretty dumb. It did make a lot of sense. But by the way, I can't resist saying this. Katie Carr says, I don't remember it. That's because you winked your eye. You blinked and it was gone.
Yeah.
It was this episode is forgettable in the wink of an eye.
You didn't miss much, Katie.
I think someone jumped the gun on the ratings, so I guess I'll hold this thing off here. And Phoenix, we usually wait. No, don't worry about it. But we usually wait until we call for the ratings because it makes it easier to find. So Here we go. Let's give our ratings on Wink of an Eye.
So for Stink of an Eye, I'm going to give it a C-.
Same here. And same for Lord Thoughtmother. He gave it a C-. And the reason why it gets a C-, everyone, is because as dopey as it is, there are really some outwardly terrible episodes in this season that deserve worse. And it's just...
That's the only reason why it gets a C-, Clobby.
For me, anyway, I'm kind of the same way about that.
Yep.
But I don't really like it much, and I don't think it makes a lot of sense, but, it could... I mean, look, anyone has a lower rating, I'll understand. Phoenix Argus.
Raquel, should we be concerned for your husband? No, it's just I don't understand why you wouldn't just milk the cow if you needed milk from the cow. Just go ahead and do that. Like, why would you need a romantic relationship and to create this hybrid species? Anyways, Phoenix Argus, I think that they could have just collected the raw materials they required in fluid.
Indeed. There's a magic potion made them fast, just like the Golden Age flash. That's basically what happened. It made really no sense the way people were able to... the whole point where the normal speed people are moving around. You had to look at this premise and go, we're not going to be able to pull this off. It's going to be goofy, and it doesn't make any... Anyway, you can at least find a science fiction-y reason for them to be sped up like that.
Okay,
not
just imagine
metabolism.
Just imagine Dila is a fluffer. Imagine how quickly she could get her sperm donation. Kirk wouldn't even know what would hit him. He would think it was an insect, right? Mark D with a C.
I can't see what he's saying because
he says Dila is intelligent, pretty, and ruthlessly determined to get a sperm donor. Yeah, well, if she moves so quickly, she could fluff everything she needed within milliseconds.
I did like how Kirk tricked her, though. That was pretty good. But
yes,
it was very Kirkish. And he didn't fall for that crap that the other dude did. All right, anyway, Phoenix Argus says the story was silly and the interactions felt forced rather than seeking out help to resolve the issue. They sort to inflict the same issues on the Enterprise. Yeah, their motivations weren't all that clear. We don't really know what happened to them, to their planet, because they didn't tell you much. It's like they just threw this. This was one of those ones, the very third season, he felt like it was just thrown together with no thought went into it. C-.
Yeah.
A+ for the actress costumes. Yeah, I like the costumes. All right, let's see here. All right. We're looking for ratings, folks. I'm gonna start looking for them now. All right. I'm trying to get to them, folks.
JT Kirk says, Raquel, she couldn't fluff me. I require romance. Okay, well, but still, like, if she's moving at supersonic speed, you would be fluffed and wouldn't even know it. Do you know what I mean? That's all you hear, right?
Yep. Oh, my goodness. Yes, Walter Brennan was in Guns of Will Sonnet. Steve mentioned, well done. That show was great. It only lasted 2 seasons. One of the best Westerns I've ever seen. And I don't mean the hotel. Katie Carr never saw this episode. Well, Katie, again, if you blink, you'll miss it.
Just don't watch
wear
it.
That joke out. Yeah, well, don't go to too much trouble for it, Katie. Let's just feel like watching it.
James.
F-. Wow. Maybe we were too kind to this one. Let's see here. But a bit from James Caserta. Thank you, James. My friend, appreciate you. Let's see here.
Marty with the C says, is that what Spurpy sounds like? Yes, that is what Spurpy sounds like.
He said they did explain what happened, but they don't. You know what? All I heard was so maybe I missed. And I watched it again the other day, and I think I probably fell asleep, to be honest with you.
Phoenix Argus at 23 minutes past the hour. I can't repeat that. That's too dirty, but that's super funny.
Let's see. Katie says, But I haven't saw. Yes, you have to watch it. Yes, you must do your homework, young lady. You must watch it. We want you to suffer like the rest of us. No, don't kidding. If you don't have to, you don't have to. Broad Thunderheart says B-. I still love it. You have to take the bad with the good. Still a decent episode.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Broad Thunderheart is an easy-going feller. That's what we like.
He is.
Eric K. Lord Thought, yeah, gave it a C-. Wink of an ear. An eye, sorry. Has one of the most, one of the hottest guest appearances of Dragon. I can't argue with that.
Yeah, I don't think she's what. I don't think
Really?
she's like
Always
one of
liked
the
her.
one of the super hot ladies of Star Trek. I think she looks very alien, and I think it works. But
Maybe it's the outfit.
yeah, oh yeah, the outfit, her body is great. But
Yeah.
just like when I look at her eyeballs, I'm like, oh, I can't look at her for too long. She's an odd looking duck. Katie, I'll give it an H
for haven't seen it. In other words, or it could be an L for luckier than the rest of us.
I like JT Kirk at 24 minutes past the hour. Sperm in space from the Muppets.
Indeed. Oh yeah, pigs in space.
That's right.
D. Bud Martin C. Not horrible, but not very memorable either. Middling season 3 type episode. Kirk would have volunteered if they just asked him. Yeah, I know I would have.
That's just it. And I mean, he put a down payment on it. I mean,
yeah. Snortopoopas Skewer. What Snortopoopas Ashburn now. We'll just start calling it. 1 of 3. C-. I had trouble believing the hyper acceleration plot.
Yeah.
Kathy Brown's costume combined a cheesy flower child look with a certain sex appeal. I cannot argue with that one, Snorter. Let's see here. 2 of 3. At least it looked better than the space blankets the males wear. Those nappies, man. What in the hell? Hey, costume department. I think you're fired. Let's see. I mean, I know the budget was low, but Christ. What happened now?
Just snoo.
Oh, Kirk pulling off his boots after wild alien snoo. What? Snoo. Couldn't the Federation solve their problems? No mention of this. Yeah, he did kind of just leave him there and said, you know what? Screw you. Did he just kind of just said dump him and go, we're not going to help you people. Go to hell. You tried to kill us. Screw you.
All they needed was one speed job. Phoenix Argus has put down D-list speed jobs. It's like going to Mr. Lube or Quickie Lube. I mean,
oh my God. A dark shadow Logan. D. Story was poorly executed. I do agree. Again, it's just not outrageously terrible like some of the ones, but I do think I cannot argue with the D. For the time, female costumes were pushing the boundaries.
Yes.
Pushing the boundaries of what was allowed on TV. Deela, the Queen, raises the score as she caused Kirk to rise in many ways. I am sure. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, look, Kirk was happy with this episode.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. If the captain is happy. Eric K. the Great. The C-. This one is a meh for me. Not terrible, but not great. Kind of forgettable.
Mm-hmm.
With your partner.
Yep.
Your partner. Again, he blinked. He missed it. I'm going to wear that joke out. Scoop Pete. Dumb. Yeah. D for dumb. Premise. Yes.
Sperm bank in space.
Crap.
Phoenix Argus. Hashtag D-list speed jobs.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. In back-to-back episodes, the crew has learned to fabricate the powers of Jean Grey and the Flash. Wow, that's a good point. Mark D with a C always brings something fun from the comments around.
Yeah, of course.
Exactly.
Does, yeah.
They were able to just. Oh. Yep, they can give themselves superpowers.
Yeah.
Reminds me of a dumb Moffat Doctor Who special. But anyway, JT Kirk, C-. The woman was
Kathy.
beautiful, but if this were a season 1 or 2, the higher quality there would force this one to a forgettable D-. Well, JT Kirk, I can't argue with that, my friend. Raymond Feliciano says C. 2 out of 3 flashes. Concept was blah, but the outfit was boom chaka wow. Yeah. The I want to take your ship trope is getting old. Yeah, everyone wants to steal the Enterprise. And they were trying to steal it with an air conditioning unit.
Yeah.
Whatever the hell that thing was.
With a wiring problem. If you touched it, you got shocked.
Yes. And it was cold. So it wasn't air conditioning. It would turn your, froze your hands. Brad Fisher. See, for me, the younger me was too distracted by Deela's outfit to notice how poor the script was. And that is a good, an important point, Brad Fisher. The script is actually pretty weak in this one.
Yep.
Oh, I had an actual clip from this episode. Lincoln Enterprises, an outtake of Deela standing on the bridge. I used to buy things from Lincoln Enterprises, the Roddenberry business. Do they still have that? I don't know if they.
Yep.
Oh, here we go with the big positive review, and he only has one thing to say. Ashes A plus 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 plus. An incredibly attractive woman and speedsters. What more could you want?
It's true.
Well, script, but okay. Yeah, it was perfect for. It was almost. I was going to make an STD joke. We're not going to do that. But let's see if we got all our ratings. Marketing with a C, C minus. 1 out of 5 cups of Cafe Du Monde coffee. Come on down, buddy. I'll bring you to Cafe Du Monde. I didn't know. You know about that. Come down to the French Quarter. We'll get you some beignets, bud. I've had beignets in forever. This episode could have been called Space Seed 2. And Kirk has a booty call to save the 1701 superpowers and dumb plot holes. At least the dress was hot. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 3 bags.
And Mark, we need to do CLOBBERIN. We all need to descend
down here to CLOBBERIN
upon Louisiana, and we all need to hang out. We need to do CLOBBERIN. Make CLOBBERIN happen. I will, as soon as I'm able to cross the border, I will be coming to CLOBBERIN.
Indeedishness. Pat S., old buddy, C+. So many whys in life. Why this episode? Why this episode? Why do we hurt others? Why do Canadians love Rush so much?
I don't.
I guess we'll never know. Well, there's one that doesn't. Bonus. Quote of the night goes to CLOBBERIN. This was an episode. Thank you, sir.
You did say that.
Did I say that? I didn't mean to.
Well, this was an episode.
You know what? It's an episode. Now I'm going to just start saying that every time if it sucks. Well, I'll tell you one thing.
It was an episode.
It's like when I put back when I saw that horrible Force Awakens when I went to Facebook the night after when I got home from Star Wars, and I pissed a lot of people off because they wanted to see what I was going to say about it. I wrote one thing you can definitely say about Star Wars Episode 7: The Force Awakens. It was definitely filmed and shown on movie screens. That aggravated a lot of people. Oh, so you didn't like it. And I went for like 2 days telling not people what I thought about it because I hated it. And they're like, well, what do you mean by that? Of course it was. What is this supposed to be? Garbage movie. Let's see.
Steve Mitchum, she couldn't raise my grade with a splint and a crane.
Wow.
I love you, Steve Mitchum.
I'm trying to think we got all our ratings. Did we get all our ratings?
So good. This is so good. Steve Mitchum's awesome.
That was not very nice.
I think it's funny.
CLOBBERIN, yay.
Yeah, CLOBBERIN.
That's right. JT Kirk down the bayou. That's right.
That's right.
I might even show up. I doubt it, though.
He's lying. He would show up.
Yep, New Orleans, July 4th. Apparently, yep. There you go. New Orleans, July 4th of 2025. Baby. Yeah, like I've lived that. Like I'm going to live that long. All right, here we go.
Yes, you will. Don't talk like that.
Well, do I have to? What if I don't want to? I mean, I'm going to watch this episode again and decide this is not working. Steve Mitchell. She couldn't raise my grandma, dude.
I love Snortopoopus. Snortopoopus comes and says, so much hate for the bug-eyed space lady.
Oh my goodness! You know, Katie Carr. Now that you put that up there, CLOBBERIN, it means you have to attend CLOBBERIN. Katie Carr, you have to come to it. So you will have a VIP ticket, Katie.
You will. Oh, Katie. Yes, it would be great.
Chat's something, isn't it? I love him. Wait a minute, Katie, you still haven't seen Star Wars? Well,
You only have
in,
3
in,
movies to watch, honey. Just
in
watch
another
the 3 movies.
yeah, only 3 to watch. But in another time, I might go, yeah, I can't believe it. You need it. But now I'm not so sure you want the heartache, because if you really do love the first 3 movies, and you might not, but if you do, and there you got to start. And I mean first 3, not prequels. I'm talking 77, Empire, and even Return of the Jedi. I even don't have my issues with it. And if you like them, okay, fine. If you really, really like them, then you're in trouble, because that means you're in for a lot of pain after that. But it's painful being a Star Wars fan if you're like a hardcore fan. Anyway, okay, everyone, we're about to move to our final episode of the night. Are we ready?
Yes.
Are you okay?
Yes, I just love this chat. This Snortopoopas is just really funny tonight, and James Caserta, and just everybody's crazy tonight. It's so funny. JT Kirk, everyone is just hysterical tonight. They're just saying a lot of really dirty stuff that I can't repeat, but it's not anything like rated R or anything. It's just funny and cute, and it's harmless.
Of course. Snortopoopas is a good bear.
He has so much funny. Okay, so that which survives. And yeah, I love the homophone here. The which is which. I'm going to choose which. Season 3, episode 17, prod code 69.
Yes. I'm not going to use my normal titles that I call it.
What do you normally call it?
You don't want to know. That I changed a letter in the word, one of the words. It's a habit, and I've done it for so long. I actually call it that, and I love Lee Merriweather, by the way, but I actually just became a habit.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think Lee Merriweather is another one of these odd-looking women, but it might be her. It might be her makeup. You know what I mean? We're on tile 311, 312. Let's do it.
Do it.
Intrigued by the highly enigmatic readings of the ship's sensors the ship's sensors are receiving from the planet below, Kirk, McCoy, Sulu, and geologist Lieutenant D'Amato step into the transporter and prepare to beam down. But as they are dematerializing, a beautiful woman appears and kills the transporter operator. By the time the landing party materializes below,
Mark Dave Spock is an a-hole in this episode. Sorry, go ahead.
He is. He is. I actually put that in my notes.
Okay, go ahead.
Did you see this? SHIT, which survives. Okay. The Enterprise is no longer in orbit above them. The ship has been hurtled nearly 1,000 light years from its previous location. To make matters worse, for Kirk's group, the mysterious woman appears on the planet and kills D'Amato with the touch of her hand. Back on the Enterprise, Spock attempts to plot a course back to the planet, but the same deadly female returns to the ship and kills one of Scotty's engineers in an attempt to sabotage the Enterprise's return to her world. Once again, Star Trek's visual effects crew found a simple way to combine practical photography with the elements they could easily obtain. In order to place Scotty within the authentic antimatter energy, spindly tree branches laid side by side. After processing the film, they animated the image of the branches, looped it, and printed it with color film stock to create an illusion of a flowing blue current. At the beginning of Star Trek's 3rd season, many of the original creative staff had moved on to other projects. Perceived indifference from the broadcast network's executives and the difference in management style between the bosses at Desilu and those at Paramount prompted Herb Solo to depart. Writer Gene L. Kuhn, whose clever ideas had contributed so much to the series, had also left. Stalwart co-producer Robert Justman, who had been with the show since the beginning, abandoned ship halfway through the 3rd season. Even creator Gene Roddenberry removed himself from although he'd held on to the title of executive producer. Under new, less attentive management, the series floundered. I was talking about this earlier. Although she'd given up the position of story editor at the end of season 2, DC Fontana did her best work under adverse circumstances, penning 3 stories for season 3. But even that proved too close for comfort. I didn't like the way the 3rd season was going, Fontana says. I just wanted to get away. I left several stories that someone else wrote scripts for. Only one, the Enterprise incident, would appear under her actual name. She removed her name from That Which Survives and The Way to Eden, substituting Michael Richards, a combination of the first names of her 2 brothers, as her nom de plume.
Wow, Michael Richards.
Like Gene Roddenberry, Walter Matt Jeffries had flown B-17s during World War II, so they both understood the workings of flying vehicles. On the day they met, Roddenberry asked Jeffries to design a starship that was instantly recognizable, but that had no flames, no fires, and no rockets. Jeffries, who had previously served as a designer with Ben Casey's series art department, took the assignment very seriously. He drew dozens of designs before Roddenberry accepted his final version of Enterprise with its saucer, lower hull, and twin nacelles, or nacelles, however you want to say it. The young production designer moved on to create many of the props and sets that visually define Star Trek today, including the iconic design of the Enterprise bridge. One particular set is identified very closely with the art director, that narrow cylindrical crawlway that allowed Scotty instant access to malfunctioning systems equipment throughout the ship, as seen in That Which Survives and numerous other episodes. The production staff jokingly referred to the cramped crawlway as the Jeffries tube, and the name stuck, although it was never official terminology. Some 2 decades later, the writing staff of Next Generation incorporated the name within the script, and when the crew member uttered it on air, the term Jeffries tube at long last was rendered canon. And that is all the block text has to say about this episode. What do you think?
Well, interesting stuff as always. Not one of my favorites either. This is an episode that I think it gets a higher rating than it probably should for me, because there is some really good character interaction between Spock and Scotty that I really like in this one. And it's true, Spock was an a-hole in this one. Chuck Marble, welcome. Good to see you. Let's see. Cool, no problem. Spock was a total a-hole in this episode, in a fun way. But it was, I mean, when he's talking to, well, he's a real a-hole to Scotty, which I thought was kind of funny. So I don't mean it in a bad way, but I mean, Mark T.C. is right. He's a jerk in this one. And I like some of their reactions. It's kind of good to see Dr. Mabinga, even though it's not much. I don't know. Did they talk about, or maybe it'll be in your notes or something, I don't know, about why they just bring that character back, but we only get him twice in the whole run of the series?
I don't know, but I would have liked to have seen him throughout the entire series.
Yeah, well, that's what's puzzling. You see him in one, then next season, I don't understand that they could have just made up any old character like they often did, but they said, oh, that guy played a character on here once, let's let him play another one.
Yeah, Booker Bradshaw is just...
Yeah, he's really good.
He's amazing, and I can't believe that he wasn't a regular. I think he deserved to be a regular.
Yes. Darren M., welcome. And so you got a lot of, again, they don't really explain, they never, in fact, explain anything about, or a whole lot about what this planet really is. There's a lot of filler stuff on the planet with Catwoman. I mean, Lee Merriweather, yes, he played Catwoman. And when Julie Newmar, who played Catwoman on the series before Eartha Kitt did on the Batman 66 show, was unable to do the theatrical film called Batman, which was connected to the TV series with Adam West and Burt Ward, they had this Julie Newmar filled in for her. So, I've always been a fan of hers. She was also on Barnaby Jones, but, I always loved her. But
yeah, she's wonderful.
But things like what they were 1,000, almost 1,000 light years thrown off.
Yeah.
Okay. Warp 14.
Yeah.
again, you know, that's silly nitpicky stuff. I'm just joking. I'm goofing around. I'm not a problem with it.
Hey,
Again,
Chuck Marble's here.
yeah, Chuck. Yeah, hey, Chuck. Hey, Chuck. You know, so I'm not really. I'm not. It's not again a lot like a couple of the ones tonight. This doesn't really make me angry. It actually has worthwhile things in it. We're not talking "and the children shall leak" here, or you know, or and some of the ones we're getting to next week are probably going to make me want to chop something off. But so this one, by comparison, you know, some of the goofy stuff on the planet is just not really explained. None of the stories really explained. Most of the episodes, most of the drama and interest does come from the character interaction with Spock and Scotty and their little dilemma and stuff like that. Scotty getting really annoyed with Spock. Aside from that, it's kind of like a filler type of an episode. There's not really a whole hell of a lot going on.
Yeah.
For me personally.
And even with a nom de plume, I can't believe that she let this happen. But you know, at the same time, you know, it's great that the block text backed up what I was saying earlier on in the show, and that is that executives inserted themselves into season 3. They exerted an excessive amount of force. They had no idea what they were doing, and they totally pooped the bed. And this is the result. And I think people, everyone involved was just, they were all deflated. They felt, you know, completely destroyed, I think. And this is the result. But I do have to say that I mean, why? I don't know. I wouldn't let anybody take a story that I hadn't, you know, fully fleshed out and wanted to own. And the thing is your nom de plume always gets out. It always gets out. So, you know, I don't know. I would have never have put my name on this episode. This episode is terrible. But at the same time, I also understand why it's terrible. Because, you know, DC Fontana brought those stories into a place where she discussed them with Gene Roddenberry. You know, we had Gene L. Kuhn there. We had this nucleus present, and they would massage these ideas together. And then they worked with this wonderful production team that created these amazing visuals. And whenever there was a problem with an idea that was too abstract, it was an abstraction that needed to be included. Well, we had the genius of Gene Roddenberry to come and shine a light on things like, you know, inventing the transporter because he couldn't afford to build a shuttlecraft. And so, you know, this is what happens when you get great minds together. And, you know, I've said it before and I'll say it again. This is what happens when a corporation decides what you're watching instead of a whole bunch of artists who get together to make something really special. So, you know, if you're watching or you have subjected yourself to today's filth that is Star Trek, it's always the same result. You get wonderful things happening when you put a whole bunch of really talented people together in a room and they passionately want to bring the best stories forward. And when you put a bunch of executives in a room and corporate people in a room and you put them between the viewer or the reader and the author and the creators, you get crap. You get crap every time.
Yep. Well said, absolutely. And again, the stuff on the planet's boring. Some of the stuff with the characterization between Spock and Scotty interactions are kind of nice, but it really has no story, to be quite honest with you, because they don't tell you anything.
None. It is no story.
No, it's that which survives doesn't.
No.
So yeah. And again, believe me, there are plenty of really outwardly way worse episodes, at least in my opinion. But
yes,
this one, yeah. So I will get your rating of our.
Well, I have some notes.
Oh, I'm sorry, notes.
But I have very short.
No. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I forgot.
Lieutenant. Well, yeah, that's forgivable. Lieutenant Rada is a woman.
Yes,
a Hindu. She is wearing a bindi. She is a woman and an astronaut. I would just like to point that out because I do think that it is wonderful that we get to see her. Dr. Mbenga, Booker Bradshaw is unbelievable. I also love the fact that Dr. Sanchez is included here. And
Oh
here
yeah.
we're seeing the expertise of a brown lady, brown guy, and a brown guy. And this is wonderful to see. Like, for them to be the experts in a world where people were fighting for civil rights. So I have to give credit where credit is due. The problem is it's a little too little, a little too late, and we needed a lot more of it. And they
Yes.
tried to use, especially Booker Bradshaw, basically to save this horrendously bad episode. I also put in my notes here that Spock is just weird. He's not enjoying himself. Vulcans are logical, but they're not rude. And they pride themselves in having
Yeah.
great manners. So there's nothing to say that just because somebody is logical and uses their rational mind, that they automatically would be curt and castigating and basically insufferable and a terrible friend. Spock is a wonderful friend, and exceedingly respectful of his colleagues and of his station as a military officer on board the Enterprise. So yeah, DC Fontana, she wrote this. Somebody else came in and tweaked the script. And it's obvious that they tweaked it too much because Spock is just a weirdo and it's not even him. He would never treat Scotty like that. And he would never have conversations with Scotty like that. Being logical and rational and agnostic does not mean that you're a jackass or a jerk or you like to stand around making fun of people. That's not cool.
James. Okay. Well, wow, man, I love that. I love your review of it. Well, it's pretty on a banal episode. So, and that was the more you talk about it. I guess I just didn't take it that way as much. But the more you talk about it, the more that makes sense. What you're saying about the characterization of Spock. It's just it was funny when Mark Davis said he was an a-hole. And yeah, he
Yeah.
was. I guess he was an a-hole in that one episode.
And
More than usual.
we love Spock. We love Spock
Right.
because his logic and his rational mind are subtle. But he is a wonderful friend. He's a wonderful friend to his colleagues. He treats them wonderfully, and he has excellent manners and respects them, and he must work every day to suppress his human side, and in so doing, his subtle touches, his subtle comments, and his banter with McCoy show his true character. And his true character is a very loving and sweet person who is incredibly loyal to these friends who he respects and admires, and he has to struggle to find ways to convey that to them. And sometimes it's with some very, very cerebral humor and banter, and other times it's with these backhanded comments that make you raise your eyebrows and make you laugh out loud, even if you're in a room alone watching the show. He's not a jerk off. And so, yeah.
Excellent. I love. There you go. There's Raquel's rating, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. No, so that's her. That's a new rating system she's created. Okay, well, I'll get your rating then of that bit, that which survives, and
Ash is leaving.
mine. Yes.
Good night, Ash. Love
Good night,
you.
Ash. Good to see you, bud. Appreciate you, buddy. See you tomorrow on Jed's stream.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, give us your rating.
D. Normally
Ah,
I don't give grades that low because I love Star Trek.
wow.
Star Trek is incredibly important, and I try and give it as high a rating, even if it's a real stinker. But this is a flaming bag of dog dew left
Woo.
on the front doorstep of, and I 100% blame the executives here. They should not have done what they did. This is corporate Star Trek, and it sucks. Just the same as modern corporate Star Trek sucks.
Coincidentally, I have a D also. For it. I mean, I don't know. I guess again, I got to admit, you've made me see it in a little bit different light because Spock was a total jackass. But I don't know, the interaction. I mean, I guess I liked it for Duan. I think Duan's annoyance with Spock was funny. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
Because he was annoyed with Spock because Spock was being a prick to him.
Yeah.
So anyway, we got all right. Start your ratings, my friends. Oh, that's I love. Oh God, that's fantastic. Esh. Giving my rating on this, I'm gonna have to turn in early. Sure. B. Wow. Esh is a kind soul. Well,
he's sweet. He's a very, very sweet person.
Unless he's being mean to us on the show or something.
Unless he's being a contrarian.
Yes.
Esh is also exceedingly good at being a contrarian.
Yes, he is that. Who isn't at that age? This episode was kind of meh. And I didn't like how some characters interacted with each other. All right. Indeed. Did Nimoy complain about this way he would Spock in this episode? I don't know. Stormtroopers. Good question.
Yeah.
It's possible. You never know. I would have to look into it. I bet that these are the Voyage book might have something about that. I don't know. I could check. Hang on, everyone. I'm getting to the ratings. I'm looking for the ratings now. Snorterpoopus Cuber says 5 Raquel raspberries.
Yeah, and I could give it like 10 more Snorterpoopus. I can't believe it. You know what I mean? Like, why didn't she just pull the script off the table? If she felt that it was going to be that they were going to brutalize it to that degree, just pull it off the table. Don't do that in my name. Nom de plumes always come out.
I give it 5 craps out of 5 space poos for Scuba Pete. Not a fan either.
Pete! I love you.
D for Dark Shadow Logan. Story never made much sense to me on this one. Sure didn't. What story? Reminded me of a little of the last Outpost on Star Trek Next Generation Season 1. And yeah, that one's a masterpiece compared to this, I think. And that's bad. Lee Merriweather's beauty made the episode. Otherwise, her costume was horrible.
It was. Her costume and makeup were absolutely atrocious.
Looks like a leftover genie costume.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And her makeup is atrocious. When men tell me this woman is beautiful, I need to go Google it because just what they did to this poor lady.
Watch her in, she was a beauty queen, I believe it. Watch her in Batman 66 movie because I love that movie.
I will.
And she is, oh man, fabulous. In my opinion, anyway. Dude, I mean, oh my goodness. And I love Julie Newmar's Catwoman, don't get me wrong, but Lee did a fine job. Snorterpoopus Cuber. What a 4. The new Esh has arrived, folks. D. Once again, the Enterprise establishes new speed records. Transwarp drive, maybe. No. At least D'Amato was a blue shirt.
Yeah.
Lucira's costume was not flattering.
No.
I can't disagree.
How do you make a pretty girl like that look terrible? I see 2 Ds.
I see 2 Ds. It's the only second time Star Trek was very good. Oh yeah, that's true. One of them, the character was Barry.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, that's right.
Because it's better to be buried in space.
Yes. Well, I hope they went back and picked him up though. They probably brought him back to the Enterprise.
I love it when Eric is disappointed.
Yes.
When Eric is just, you can almost hear Eric's voice, just plain meh.
Yeah. I just watched it, a D-, by the way, from Eric K. I just watched this over, and I found myself doing other things. Yeah. What do you see next? Hey, you think, just wait till next week, folks. If you think, never mind. You'll see. Oh my God! Oh, could you please destroy me before next week? D. Bud Martin, B-. This Spock Scotty interaction was the one that I always remembered, and I adore Lee Merriweather, even though her makeup was too much. I admit the plot isn't great though.
Yeah.
Let's see, James Caserta.
That's fair.
A-, B-. Well, which one is it, buddy?
That's actually the type of blood that Clobby and I are bleeding because of this episode. I'm kidding.
Double D's. Snortopoopas. Oh, I'm sorry about Snortopoopas. I forgot, man. I was going in order.
Oh,
No, we still got
jumped
you.
off on Snortopoopas.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Snortopoopas Cuber. 2 of 4 Sulu. Stop or I'll shoot. I don't want to have to kill a woman. Oh, yeah. And he did say that. I don't want to have to kill a woman. Well, what are you, sexist? You should be able to kill anybody. Would he rather kill a man? Yes, he would. But we're not talking about that tonight.
Yeah, but you know what? I like that kind of stuff. Guys, I have to tell you that I kind of like that stuff, even though like I'm a modern woman and I believe in egalitarianism. I like it when I read one of these stories, like one of these older stories and in these classic novels, or I see this on TV. It's okay for me. I actually don't mind. I really think that it's that was probably one of the brighter aspects of when women were thought of that way, where women where men wanted to protect women and didn't want to expose them to violence and stuff like that. I know it didn't work out. And I know that, some people don't appreciate it, but I just don't think all of it was bad. Like, I don't think it was all bad. It was definitely not good, but it wasn't all bad. That's all I'm saying. I just don't think the motivations were all bad.
No, they weren't bad. They were at the time.
Yeah.
Scotty goes up the shaft and saves the day.
Yeah.
I'll get back to you, Doug. Hang on a second. I'm going to finish up Snort since I forgot about him. 3 out of 4. 3 of 4. Although I would have preferred it. Excuse me, if the writers had let him do it without Spock's help. Yeah. After all, he was able to sense the ship felt wrong. Yeah, he did. He did. Oops, sorry, Snorty. I got you one more. Beauty survives. Sounds like a good way to describe Star Trek, the original series.
What an excellent comment.
D35. I'd say D+, just to leave 2 grades lower. Yeah, I've got some lower grades coming up.
Good one, Doug.
Indeed. Pat S. C-. Mr. Spock, I'm more familiar with the antimatter shutoff. You'd be dead in minutes. Good. Oh, yeah. We told him you'd be dead if you did. Mr. Scott, the needs of me outweigh you. Get in the tube, haircut. Pat S., you were a mean person. You're a mean person. Let's see here. Steve Ernest.
Hey, Steve Ernest.
Steve Ernest, welcome. Good to see you. Lucera gets an A+ for her eye makeup, as with the all the world is hollow gal. Well, okay, and the episode proper gets a C-. Minus. All right. Well, Steve, welcome, Steve Ernest. By the way, let's see. Here's next. Brad Fisher. And that's not opposite. I thought there was a rating. I'm sorry. Let's see. JT Kirk. A D+. Scotty said, I saw and maybe a wee bit more. I'll sit on the warp engines myself and nurse them. My wife has informed me this is not at all how nursing works. Also, the $10 sets were lazy.
Yeah.
For JT Kirk there. Okay. The great Chris Persia. 1 of 3. D. Interesting how they introduce Warp 13.2, although it's established that they cannot go past Warp 10. Yes, that's kind of a retcon thingy, though. But let's see here. 2. Better still, they have an AI that although has been killing intruders, develops a sympathy for having killed innocent people, and thus deliberately failed to kill Kirk, Sulu, and Bones. Yeah, kind of, but they never really explain a whole lot about that either.
Mm-hmm.
Upgraded to C- because this is something that took P. Hard an entire season to establish. Well paid, sir. Well paid indeed.
Love you, Chris.
You're the man, buddy. Brad Fisher, C- from me. I was not a fan of Lee back then, as she was my least favorite Catwoman. She was my second favorite. C-, I admit It wasn't a great one even from me, but I still liked it, says the great Rod Thunderheart.
Because Rod's always got something positive to say about Star Trek because he's awesome.
We're going to challenge that next week, I hope. I'm just kidding. We're going to challenge you, buddy. You better be here. Oh, yeah. We want to see if you can handle it next week, man. I don't hate this as much as most do. I'd give it a 5 out of 10, but I rate Lee Merriweather looks as a -5. Wow.
Oh, wow.
That ain't nice.
Wow.
Wow, dude. Chuck, man. Chuck. Wow. Dude, does not like Lee Merriweather. Wow, buddy. Okay. Oh, she's not watching. I'm pretty sure. So you're okay. The wonderful Katie Carr, B-. She's such a kind soul. You're amazing, Katie. Let's see here. I think pop culture activist. There's 3 of them, so give her the D3 too. What is wrong with you?
What, Jed?
I wouldn't have read that if I could see it up too.
Yeah, don't.
I'm gonna smack you upside the head. I'm sorry. I'm gonna kill you, dude. I'm making you watch next week's episodes. D from in Feliciano. I give it some credit because this one I only saw this one time. The costume was bad. Come on, you could do better than to hide the evil navel knee. Now I know where ludicrous speed came from. Yep. Ludicrous speed, yes. Okay, D-, 1 out of 5 triplicate girls. Yep. Legion of Superheroes reference. Thanks, dude. A-hole Spock with poor writing of his lines. He's rude to Scotty and crew. Artificial intelligence doesn't act with any intelligence. That's 1 of 2.
Yeah.
Good, sir. Well, good assessment. 2 out of 2. They tried to shoehorn a sci-fi story around a character of Lucira, the character of Lucira, and it failed miserably. For sure.
I think so too. I think so too.
I agree. I love Raquel's review of this from the best. It's fantastic. I never heard you go off on an episode like that before.
Well, it's just so disappointing. I just, these executives, they think they know what they're doing, and you know that you're a real piece of work if you can take a story written by DC Fontana instead of massaging it into something beautiful, and wonderful, and already tailored to the IP. If you're incapable of even doing that with in your hand, what is wrong with you? Just go outside, leave the room, go outside, climb into the dumpster, and wait for the truck to come pick you up. Like, I just don't understand. It's very, very sad. And obviously they have this beauty queen woman who everyone is saying is absolutely gorgeous. And they have her dressed terribly. She looks awful. She has a gorgeous body. Why not show it? They also make her a twit, and her makeup's terrible, and the story is awful.
Other than that, it's fantastic. Ironcaster, by the way, good to see you, buddy. And Phantom Boomer, hello there.
Hey,
what's up, man? How you doing there? Let's see here. I think we go.
Pete says a speed massage.
That's terrible.
Raymond says speed jobs cause spurpies.
Oh man, I think we got all of our ratings. I hope we did. If we didn't, someone let me know.
Oh, Liger's leaving. Good night, Liger.
Take it easy, Liger. Appreciate you. I think we got everybody. I think we got all of our ratings. If we didn't, please let me know. Because we have gotten it done.
Yeah,
we have gotten through 4 more.
It's unfortunate, but like I said it before, I'm going to say it again. Executives, if you're out there listening, if for some strange reason you happen upon this podcast or on this channel and you manage to watch this just for poops and giggles, as the cool kids say, This should be a shining example of why you should not have creative control over something, because you have no creative, and therefore you should have no control.
Indeed. Phoenix Argus, I can't find it, man. If you said you had one.
We missed Phoenix Argus's
I don't
review.
know. He said I had a proper one. I guess he means a rating.
We have to
If you could throw the rating back, I can't find. I'm backtracking on my stupid chat.
I'll go look for it, Phoenix. Hold on. Hopefully it's on my side. I'm going to look for it. There's dead air, but we love you, and there's no dead air. We're gonna find it. I can't say much about the episode in terms of story.
Oh, there we go.
Vaguely remember it. Aside from Spock's bluntness turned into see you next Tuesday-ness. However, the makeup and costumes. See?
There you
Found
go.
you, Phoenix.
Thank you, Phoenix. Appreciate you.
Yep.
Oh, there you go. And then he put, there you go. All right, Steve Mitchum. Thanks, buddy.
Is Steve leaving?
Yes. Oh, we're about to wrap it up anyway, but all right, buddy.
Good night, Steve.
Yeah. So we got through 4 more episodes. Look at us.
And getting through 4 more episodes of season 3, the executive orders, is something remarkable. I mean, I do it every year. Didn't do it last year because I'm a little bit mad at the IP for the disgracery, filth, and vandalism of my IP. But we're here.
Absolutely. Oh yeah. Oh, Echo Base with 5 hours of retro blasting. I saw it. Got to see the beginning. I love my retro blasting buddies. Love Michael's a great dude, and I like the Echo Base guys. They're nice fellows.
Hey, Steve, make sure you kiss Maddie for me, please. We'll kiss Maddie for all of us.
Katie, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. We're about to say our goodbyes to everyone, but we're a special one to you because it is your birthday Monday night. Happy birthday to the wonderful, the beautiful Katie Carr. We appreciate you, Katie. Thank you for stopping by. Please do not be a stranger. Please stop in next week for us and contact us whenever you need to.
Cutie patootie, we love you. So happy that you came. And be here next Saturday. Yeah,
please. And we hope you're doing wonderful. You take care. All right, everyone. Well, let's see here. Oh, do some. Okay. So I think we got everyone, everybody. So there we go. Show notes before we start saying our goodbyes. As always, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, Saturday nights, we are reviewing 4 episodes of Star Trek. We're going to do it all 05 to excuse me. Well, we're not going to go backwards. 66 to 05, sorry.
Yeah.
Only Real Trek, TOS, TAS, TNG, movies, DS9,
Voyager Enterprise.
And Enterprise. And that is
735.
Yeah.
735.
So, but Monday night, I'm hopefully the great Ace Cast Iron. I think he's going to join me. But either way, Monday night for CLOBBERIN Times Monday Night Mark C Comics Talk, I will be reviewing, and hopefully with Ace Cast Iron, reviewing the yes. Oh, D. Bud Martin. Yes, I said TAS. We're
definitely doing
Animated's
TAS.
next, baby. Animated's next.
I have a very special book for that, D.
Nice.
Bud Martin.
Nice. And speaking of animation, because we are doing the animated series next, Monday night, Mark C. Comics Talk on here on CLOBBERIN Times, 8 p.m. Central. I will be reviewing, hopefully with some accompaniment by the great Ace Cast Iron, Invincible, the Amazon series, because the first 8 episodes have finished. Iron Caster. No, he's a totally different Ace Cast Iron. And yes, so we're going to review Invincible Monday night, all 8 episodes of season 1. I hear it got renewed. I hope so. Anyway, or do I? We'll see. Anyway, so keep the suspense. And then Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Central will be Open Geek Talk. And then 1 p.m. Central, Thursday afternoon, the Global Geek Gang assembles. And everyone, please go check out all the links below in my chat. Pop Culture Archivists with Jed and Ash and Retro, and I should be popping there tomorrow as well. And of course, the great Mark D with the C are doing their podcast tomorrow at 1 p.m. Central, I do believe. So anyway, thank you all so much for being here tonight. Let's say our goodbyes now. Are you ready?
Yes,
Are you ready,
let's
number
do
one?
it.
All right. Whether you're still here or not, you get the shout out because you were here. We
We're
appreciate
going to
you
shout
all.
you out anyway.
Yes, indeed. Obviously, the great Steve Mitchum.
Yes.
Buddy, appreciate you, bro, for being here. You had to run. Our wonderful birthday girl, the great Katie Carr, was here.
Yeah.
Katie, love you. And happy birthday again. Our buddy, the great Lord Thoth, had to run, but we're saying goodbye to the great Lord Thoth. We appreciate him as always. He's a good friend of the show. He's a member of the Global Geek Gang. Phantom Outsider was here earlier.
Yes.
Buddy, good to see you, man. We appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Snorta Poopas Cuber.
Start a poopus!
Good night. Good night. Yeah. My friend D. Bud Martin, thank you for being here, my friend. Appreciate you.
Yes.
The great Raymond Feliciano, author of his book. I'm having trouble with my links, but there's a link in my description below to his book, and you
Our
can find it
wonderful
in his new
wrench,
book.
Eric K, has put that in the live chat. The URL is in the live chat, brought to you by our wonderful wrench. I love you so much. Thank you, Eric.
Because I was having trouble getting to it. I think I can get to it now, but Eric K is the man. Oh, by the way, I always forget the most important thing, though. And that's this link. Because our wonderful first officer, the amazing RAQUEL Briggs, of course, also has some writings and science fiction nature.
Yeah.
Of course.
Thank you so much.
Please, everyone, here is a link to that.
So kind of
wonderful
you
work.
and Eric.
There's
Thank
nothing
you.
to it at all. There's nothing to it at all. Let's see here. So, where were we? Okay, no, let me go back. Go back where I was. All right. So, Aaron Feliciano, thank you, buddy. JT Kirk, appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for being here. He had to leave earlier, I noticed, but I appreciate J-Man for stopping. J-Man, thank you so much, buddy. New friend and a cool dude. And has a channel. I'm going to get that link up eventually, J-Man. But Liger fan had to run. Good friend. Liger, great to see you.
Thank you for participating tonight.
Indeed. Thank you much. Scuba Pete.
Scuba Pete!
I love how she does that. My fantastic friend, the great Pat S. All right, buddy.
So funny and so kind. It's such a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much for coming, and I hope we'll see you next Saturday.
Indeed, bud. Indeed. Naturally, it would not be a Clobbering Times without the fantastic, amazing wrench, the great Eric K. Hey, buddy. We appreciate you, bud.
Yes.
It also would
love you.
And it would also just never be Clobbering Time without one of my best friends I've made over here on YouTube, but just a great buddy of the show and a member of the Pop Culture Arguments himself, the great Mark D. with a C.
Yes, Mark D. Love you so much. Thank you so much for coming in, for helping us out tonight and being so engaging and entertaining.
Appreciate you, buddy. As always. Raw Thunder Heart, thank you, bud. Appreciate you. Hey, just another red shirt popped in earlier, my good buddy.
Yes. Good to see.
Appreciate you. Jed is here with Pop Culture Arguments, by the way, and as was Ash, who had to run.
Yes.
So please, he's got a link. Did you put a link in there? Tomorrow, Pop Culture Arguments, we're going to have a very special stream. We'll put a link up there, dope. You got a wrench, doesn't he? He has a wrench.
I think Jed has a wrench.
Better. All right. The Catman, a.k.a. Dee Dee Myers, was here.
Yes.
Thank you.
Excellent comments tonight from Dee Dee.
Of course. Metimus Prime was here, but I don't thank him or anything, but just acknowledge he was here. Because he's a Jagoff. He's a Jag officer. He's probably asleep. No, I've known him for 40 years, folks, and I'm never nice to him. Dead Man Walking.
Yes.
Sarah, thank you, sir. Thank you for being here. Another master of fantastic wrenches, of course. And again, wouldn't be Clobbering Time without you. The great Chris Persia, my friend.
That is right. Dead to right.
Appreciate you, buddy. I don't know if he's wasting away again in Margaritaville looking for that lost shaker of salt or not, but I'm sorry. I love the song. Sue me.
Of course.
Anyway, Parrot Head. Appreciate it, bud. Always sends cool pictures.
Yes, he does.
And a big good night to the greats. Dr. Hercule Monkey. That hurts. I'm going to have to stop that.
The doctor.
The great Canadian Spidey was here.
Yes,
Thank you,
he
buddy.
was. I'm so happy that you stopped in.
Appreciate you. I don't know if he's here anymore, but he did pop in. My good friend, Fat Steven Seagal, popped in.
Yes.
Big congrats to you on your hitting the 1K channel, buddy, if you're out there. Appreciate you, man.
1,000 bones.
Indeed. I also saw Mr. T-shirted historian pop in a little while earlier. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you. The great Just Joe 47 Jobber. Always a pleasure, brother. Doug 35. Thank you for being here tonight. We appreciate you. No one popped in for a second. I try to catch everyone. No one, you are someone. Thank you. Our great friend, 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser, stopped by. Nick say hi, but we're shouting him out anyway because we love him. Nick's a great dude. Look at Retro Dicky popping in the last second.
I just saw that.
Yo, Retro. What are you doing awake, man? Jesus Christ. I know it's early.
Can't believe you're awake, Retro.
Well, Jen woke him up probably. Jen wake
it's time to talk till 6 o'clock in the morning now.
Brightest Day popped in earlier.
Yeah, that was great.
Good to see you. Bruce Lombardo. Appreciate you stopping in, my brother. Always good to see you. The great James Caserta, buddy. Thank you for popping in.
Yeah. I hope you had a good time tonight.
Critzible the Crazed. I'm Crizzible the Crazed. I'm sorry if I'm saying that crappy. I'm sorry.
No, you did great. You did great.
Well, we thank you for popping in. Yep. You only popped in to say hi, but I'm still big hi and shout out to the great Project Storytime, a good buddy.
Yeah.
Phoenix Argus, thank you for being here tonight. We appreciate you. Brad Fisher.
Yeah.
Honored to have you here. Thank you for being here, sir.
Yeah.
Darren M., thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Chuck Marble, by the way, thank you for being here, sir.
So good of you.
Let's see here. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. Almost done. Ironcaster, my friend, good to see you. Thank you for popping in, sir. Absolutely. Phantom Boomer popped in. Thank you, sir. And Steve Ernest was here. He might still be here. Steve, thank you so much.
Steven, thank you for coming tonight.
I think I got everybody. What a crowd, man! I'm telling you.
Well,
fantastic.
We love to shout every single person out because every single person in this chat matters because they add to the conversation, and it's very important to recognize their participation, their voices, their opinions, their ratings, their thoughts. So yeah, I hope we didn't miss. I hope we didn't miss anyone, but if we did, it's because that chat goes rolling by really fast.
It rolls.
Yeah, and we appreciate each and every one of you. We truly do. Thank you so much for coming tonight. Please smash the like button. Please share this channel, and make sure you go to Clubby's show on Monday. It's going to be really, really super cool, and I think you're all going to love talking about Invincible. And he's such a great tastemaker. He knows so many different types of IPs, and I think his comments are really going to wow everyone, and they're going to have a really great time. So make sure you're here on Monday for that.
Thank you so much. And again, everyone, we appreciate you. It's been just, you guys make it so much fun for us. I mean, and everyone, a big round of applause, of course, for the most fantastic first officer in the fleet. I love you, Raquel. Thank you for making this such a wonderful time. And everyone loves you here. We appreciate you so much.
Oh, I love all of you. Thank you so much for creating this space for us because, we love talking about Star Trek, and we wouldn't be able to do it without you. You're the one who brought all of these people together and forged friendships and alliances and connections all over the world. You did that, Clobby. And I love Chris Persia's comment at 22 minutes past the hour. Well, I said smash the like button, and Chris says, no, clobber the like button.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate you, Chris.
You got it.
Appreciate
Chris.
you all. Absolutely. So, everyone, again, I can never get enough of this intro, outro by the wonderful first officer. Have a great night. We're going to warp out of orbit. We'll see you next week, and I hope I see you throughout the week on various streams. Again, Monday night, reviewing Invincible on the Monday Night Mark C Comic Show, and then Tuesday night, 7 a.m., 7 p.m. press. I forgot to mention that I'll be on Loki's Comic Book Roundtable. So, on Loki's Mornings of Mischief. And again, big shout out to Loki because he's a great friend as well. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Trek on.